के लिए your bottom line will get eroded. So it is very simple mathematics and statistics, which I don't know why people have not raised their voice.
No, I think let's consolidate certain thing. As I said, now personally, by the time I worked on paper and try to implement it, and then I was reading this, so I thought let's have the views from the industry and stay together, so that at least a grim chance. But overall, even I in the state level projects, when I left corporate life 4.5, 5 years back, but engaging with Cisco for their state level projects, I know that still the government really wish that some local nice good companies comes, where I'm just taking a name like HFCL is quite fully has come big way for the Reliance Jio access points or the last mile access equipment. And similarly, state level, still they are hungry. Business cake is big enough to buy it, but whether it is profitable. अभी आप 2 मिनट पहले बात कर रहे थे सर कि कप में अब चाय है.
राकेश जी आप म्यूट हो गए. राकेश जी आप म्यूट हो गए.
I'm sorry for that. So I just said that 2 minutes back you were talking about in your cup, whether it's a tea or a whiskey. Practically, all of us, the paradigm shift has come that half glass is half full, but what is in the glass, that is more important. Each of us, we know the bottom line is getting tough and tough day by day.
राकेश मलिक जी आप अकेले बोल रहे हैं, लेकिन आपकी आवाज 2 बार आ रही है.
I'm on.
नहीं गोयल साहब, मुझे ठीक आ रही है, तो कहीं हो सकता है कि आपके साइड में कोई इशू. एटलीस्ट मुझे ठीक आ रही है. आई डोंट नो अबाउट अदर.
मुझे भी ठीक आ रही है.
ओके.
वो इको जो है आपके यहाँ लोकल इशू हो सकता है. राकेश जी चक्कर ये है कि उस सब के बावजूद आप कह रहे हैं कि बहुत ग्रिम चांस है.
यस वी आर ऑलराइट विद.
हाँ जी प्लीज.
आप कह रहे हैं कि बहुत ग्रिम चांस है. मैं कह रहा हूँ बहुत बुरी हालत है. हमारे जो मेंटर हैं, जो हम सबके करता धरता है, वो कहते हैं तुली साहब इंडिया छोड़ के चले जाओ, कहीं से 1 करोड़ रुपए ले आओ, आपको मैं किसी कंट्री की सिटीजनशिप दिला देता हूँ, आप चले जाओ. अब मैं नाम नहीं लेना चाहता, लेकिन बड़े आदमी है, उन्होंने पर्सनल लेवल पे मुझे एडवाइस किया.
ऐसे तुली साहब,
उसके बावजूद बहुत सारी इंडस्ट्री कह रही है कि ये दिवाली बोनांजा है जो PLI स्कीम आई है. यस
सर ऐसा है, अभी वैसे मीटिंग शुरू होने में 5 मिनट है, और ये राजेश तुली जी जो कह रहे हैं मेंटर, ये मुझे कह रहे हैं क्योंकि मैं कहता रहता हूँ. लेट मी कन्फेस इट. एक्चुअली सर प्रॉब्लम ये है कि अपने ही देश में हम बेगाने हो गए हैं.
बिल्कुल सर,
बेगाने हो गए हैं, और समहाउ जो हमारे अपोजिट साइड में विदेशी लोग हैं, उनकी पावर मिथ्स बहुत ज्यादा चल रही है, और हमारा आपसी विचारधारा और मीडिया, जैसे आपने कहा दिवाली बोनांजा इसको कैसे कहेंगे? जैसे तुली साहब कह रहे हैं कि अगर आप लार्ज इंडस्ट्रीज को जो पहले से ही प्रॉफिटेबल होती हैं, वायबल होती हैं, उनको 6% दे देंगे, तो MSME को नहीं देंगे, तो MSME के डिपार्टमेंट तो बंद करना पड़ेगा आपको. और पहले तक ये खाली मोबाइल में था, अब ये आपके 10 सेक्टर्स में आ गया है. लेकिन हमारी वॉइस उठाई नहीं जाती, ना मीडिया में, ना गवर्नमेंट सर्किल में. हम बात करते रहते हैं, वी गो ऑन टॉकिंग. उससे लगता है कि क्या अपने देश में बेगाने हो गए, और तब जब फ्रस्ट्रेशन आती है तभी आता है. दूसरा, जैसा आप सब जानते हैं, ये वैसे फिर दोबारा भी आ सकता है कि मेक इन इंडिया में प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब बड़े कमिटेड हैं, बहुत ज्यादा बोलते हैं, बहुत ज्यादा स्टेटमेंट आती रहती हैं, 4 बार लिख के दे चुके हैं. उसके बावजूद भी यहाँ पर पुलिस साहब और राजीव महाजन है कि नहीं है, 50 से और लोग हैं, ऑलमोस्ट हर महीने 4-5 कंप्लेंटें करते रहते हैं कि साहब यहाँ ये नहीं हुआ, वहाँ ये नहीं हुआ. अब उसके बावजूद भी क्यों हो रहा है? हमारे पास मिस्टर अरुण सचदेवा जी भी हैं, अरुण गुप्ता जी रिलायंस से हैं, मिस्टर PK साहू का भी नमस्कार, केजन सिक्योर से हैं, नमस्कार. RK शर्मा जी कैसे हैं आप? यहाँ पर दीपंकर, यहाँ पर मिस्टर दीपक भी आए हुए हैं, राजनकर. तो ये राजेश जी इसका क्या जवाब देंगे? और हमारी एक और हमने कमी महसूस की है कि जितने भी ये हमारे विदेशी मित्र हैं, ये क्या करते हैं, जो 4 बड़ी कंपनीज हैं जिनको बिग 4 कहते हैं, उनको ले लेते हैं। उनको 25 लाख, 50 लाख, 1 करोड़ रुपए देंगे, रिपोर्ट बना लेंगे और वो रिपोर्ट लेके जगह-जगह घूमते रहते हैं। हमारी इंडस्ट्री में क्योंकि हम ऑलरेडी मरे हुए हैं, हम तो मर चुके हैं, खाली रेंग रहे हैं, हमारे पास कहाँ है पैसा देने के लिए 25 लाख या 50 लाख, इसलिए हम उलझ जाते हैं इन चीजों में।
सर मैं आपसे पूरी तरह एग्री कर रहा हूँ जो आप कह रहे हैं, लेकिन प्रॉब्लम ये है कि ये जो आपने मीटिंग बुलाई, आई डोंट नो मेनी पीपल ऑन दिस पर्टिकुलर मीटिंग टुडे are, but I believe most of them would be telecom manufacturers, or they would have something to do with the topic that we're talking about. The very few of them who are actually raising their voice at the right forums. At least we can all write emails. At least we can all go to the PG portal, the Prime Minister's office, and we can write to them, because there is a systematic portal actually is a very good mechanism. If several people were to write against a particular policy, something will happen. But if there are only 2-3 people writing, पहले संजीव कक्कड़ जी लिखा करते थे, लेकिन आजकल संजीव कक्कड़ जी भी कुछ और मूड में है, दिखते भी नहीं है.
ऐसा करते राजेश,
when I go to DPIIT or we go to commerce, we talking to someone, और वही कहेंगे एक कोरल टेलीकॉम और तेजास के अलावा किसी को तो फर्क ही नहीं पड़ता है तुली साहब, आप ही को प्रॉब्लम है. मतलब दे फील कि हम मुसीबत हैं उनके लिए. DPIIT को लगता है यार तुम ही तो कंप्लेन करते रहते हो और तो कोई करता ही नहीं.
खैर वैसे उनका तो हाल ये है कि जब मैं जाता हूँ तो मुझे कहते हैं, आपको कहते हैं, लेकिन
सर 4 ही तो लोग हैं. देखिए आप हैं, मैं हूँ, राजीव है, स्पर्श है, ऐसे 4-5 हैं, VNL है टू सम एक्सटेंट.
तुली साहब जब भी हम जाते हैं ना, वो हमें भी यही बताते हैं, तुली साहब आजकल पता नहीं किस मूड में रहते हैं. तो टीमा और टीपीसी जितने सबमिशन जाते हैं उनको स्पीयरहेड करने वाला संजीव कक्कड़ ही होता है. यू नो दिस वेल. आप किस मूड में हो आज?
मैं इस मूड में हूँ सर कि DIPP में
अब ये जो आपने बात बोली ये इम्पोर्टेंट है कि ये जो वॉइस है वो लिमिटेड वॉइस है 2 या 3 लोगों की. आई थिंक व्हेन गोयल साहब जैसा इतना बड़ा प्लेटफॉर्म टीमा का है, टीपीसी का है, इसके अंदर वॉइस इनपुट्स ऑल मेंबर्स के आए ताकि उसके अंदर लगे कि ये एक लार्जर बॉडी है जिसका लार्जर इंटरेस्ट है. दे आर गेटिंग इम्पेक्टेड. आई एग्री विद यू. मोस्ट ऑफ द टाइम दीज आर 2-3 पीपल, VNL, Tejas and you, we people fighting, and we are the face taking all the the submission to the DPIIT and the DOT or anywhere. So I think Goyal Sahab has to find some way where as you rightly said, they directly also some input should go to the various ministry and departments, so that उनको ये ना लगे कि these are because we are the interested party, because we are just raising something in link with one tender or something, so which are much beyond that. PLI is I think very important policy, and unless its structure is significantly changed from the telecom perspective, you can't compare the telecom as a IT, the mass volume products.
बिल्कुल सही कह रहे हो संजीव.
चलिए एक काम करते हैं, because now the time is 3 and let's start formally industry interaction. I welcome once again each one of you here. We have around 47 people joined. That's a big number, and that number gives me a strength. और मुझे अपने आप में अच्छा लग रहा है कि इसका मतलब इंडस्ट्री हम स्ट्रांग है. और जो राजेश तुली जी को हम कहते हैं इंडिया छोड़ के जाओ, मत छोड़ के जाओ सर. 46 आदमी तो ऑलरेडी लिंकअप हो चुके हैं. दैट्स ए गुड थिंग. सर आज का बेसिक एजेंडे में हमारी 4 से 1-1.5 घंटे की मीटिंग है. इंट्रोडक्शन विद CDOT एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर राजकुमार उपाध्याय जी, जो अभी चार्ज लिया है. उनके साथ मालकिन जॉनसन, जो डिप्टी सेक्रेटरी जनरल ITU जेनेवा है, वो भी आएंगे, और काफी लोग उसमें नए भी ज्वाइन करेंगे. वो मेन एजेंडा है. उसके पहले हमने ये सोचा कि इंडस्ट्री की मीटिंग की जाए. तो इंडस्ट्री मीटिंग में सबसे पहले तो जैसे मैंने कहा, आपका स्वागत है. और टीमा के बारे में आप सब लोग जानते ही हैं, टीपीसी के बारे में भी जानते हैं, बट इन ब्रीफ टीमा 1990 में बनी थी. टीपीसी को बने हुए आज 10-11 साल हो गए हैं. और टीमा इज द ओल्डेस्ट Association of Telecom Sector in India. We are supposed to be largest in Asia क्योंकि टीमा और CMI को मिला के हमारे पास 48,000 मेंबर्स हैं, 74 कंट्री से हमारी MOU पार्टनरशिप है, तकरीबन 32 काउंसिल्स हमने बनाई हुई है. टीमा is known in India and world for few things. नंबर एक, वी आर द ओनली एसोसिएशन जिसके पास इंडस्ट्री भी है, एक्स ब्यूरोक्रेट्स भी हैं, एक्स IAS भी हैं, एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूट्स भी है, बिकॉज वी आर कनेक्टेड टू 1 lakh इंस्टीट्यूट. टीमा इज वेरी वेल नोन फॉर PPP, MMI पॉलिसी, साइबर सिक्योरिटी पॉलिसी. टीमा में वी आर द ओनली एसोसिएशन जो वर्ल्ड का लार्जेस्ट कंज्यूमर इलेक्ट्रॉनिक शो है, उसकी रिबन कटिंग 10 साल से कर रहे हैं. वी आर आल्सो फाउंडर मेंबर ऑफ वर्ल्ड इलेक्ट्रॉनिक फोरम, एशिया इलेक्ट्रॉनिक फोरम. इस तरह से हमारी पहचान है, वर्ल्ड में काफी जगह ऑफिस हैं. नाउ विद दिस हमारे पास करीबन 45-50 मिनट्स का टाइम है. तो सबसे पहले तो जो अभी टॉपिक चल रहे थे उसको होल्ड पे करके आई वुड लाइक माय इंडस्ट्री पीपल टू रिएक्ट टू द इश्यूज ऑफ R&D, इनोवेशन, टेक्नोलॉजी. आमतौर से हमारे खिलाफ चार्ज लगता है कि इंडिया में R&D इनोवेशन नहीं होते हैं. हमारा जवाब होता है कि हम तो कुछ भी बना सकते हैं, आप माल तो लो हमसे. अगर आप माल नहीं लोगे तो हम बनाएंगे क्या, किसको देंगे? तो इसके ऊपर क्या होना चाहिए, हमारी इंडस्ट्री के क्या व्यूज हैं? वी वुड लाइक टू आस्क एवरी वन ऑफ यू प्लीज अनम्यूट एंड स्टार्ट टॉकिंग. ये जो एजेंडा पेज है इसको मैं रिमूव कर दूंगा, अभी चले जाएंगे. वी विल फिनिशिंग एट अबाउट 3:45 क्योंकि तब CDOT वगैरह सब इंटरनेट शुरू हो जाएंगे. यस प्लीज, एनीबॉडी ऑन द क्वेश्चंस ऑफ R&D इनोवेशंस पे क्या हमें करना चाहिए इससे कि हमें हमारे खिलाफ, रिपीट कर रहा हूँ, ये चार्ज लगता है हम करते नहीं है, हम करते हैं ना ऑर्डर नहीं मिलते हैं. यस प्लीज, फ्लोर इज ओपन नाउ.
Sir, this is simple. It's a chicken and egg story. What should take a precedence over the other is something which the government has to take a call. There are a whole lot of R&D projects which have been successfully commissioned. If you look at the balance sheets or reports from TDB, Technology Development Board, or various research organizations in the country, there are a whole lot of researches which have been done. But do we see any product in the marketplace? So that is where somebody has to do introspection and find out why did those researches remained as dolls in a museum and they were not converted into products on the shelf. And what is the incentive for somebody to manufacture in India? In fact, why should somebody do R&D is today a mute question here. आज तो जो आप कहते रहे हैं, आप पब्लिक्स में आप कह रहे हो कि राजेश तुली छोड़ के मत जाओ, बट आप प्राइवेट में मुझे कहते रहे हो कि इंडिया छोड़ के चले जाओ. So why should anybody do R&D here? Because they're going to be large, big multinational companies who will be subsidized, who will be given a capex subsidy, who will be given a 6% of production linked incentive. How will a small R&D guy survive? That is why all your startups have failed. Why is our response or our success rate on the startup so low? Simple reason. Product promotion करनी पड़ेगी सरकार को.
Yes, sir. Anybody else?
Tuli sahab, you are absolutely right. It is actually a chicken and egg story. And you and me personally, and of course, Goel sahab always have been mentor for last 30 odd years when we see back, and when, also we say the big companies and name it, without naming it also, because they are also our co-members and friends and professionals. The R&D comes first as a first step, and then of course the production, when we call it manufacturing as such, and then of course the execution part is the third leg, and getting the right price.
राकेश आप म्यूट हो गए हो. राकेश आप किसी तरह म्यूट हो गए हो.
I don't know, I'm not touching it, but sorry. So the price level, the volume, and of course our own limitation in terms of the speed up the R&D kind of, when we say R&D ready-made product, by the time infrastructure comes and manufacture the new version, the new softwares. But overall, I'll repeat, we have been talking, that if we talk about a finished product, you name it, and today when we are, the CDOT kind of an esteem organization is with us, how the components, how the ASICs, how the the active discrete component comes in India, do we really have that base? So our price level also goes, in a different way. And even if we match those prices which the larger companies are giving in terms of the so-called quality, there are few challenges, and we are still there on the same boat. That boss, what to do? It's a break, is a question. And of course, government initiatives, all regards, we call it Make in India, but Made in India, and there is a difference with Make in India. There are two different things, and we do the packaging, we do the polishing of the last, the exercise, and we say that we are manufacturers, which is actually is troubling us. Rest, of course, we are, the technology point of view now. Lot of new things are there in IoT space. We talk it, or in terms of the software development R&D, or hardware convergence is already there. It is not. We cannot segregate. We cannot separate this. But of course, there are a few challenges, Tulisa. Yeah.
गोयल साहब आप म्यूट हैं, आप बोल रहे हैं लेकिन म्यूट हैं.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, I think good points by both of you. But मैं ये चाह रहा था कि मैं गवर्नमेंट को ये कहता हूँ कि भाई आप मुझे टारगेट दो कि आपको 6G बनाना है, मैं 6G बना के आपको दूंगा, आप मुझे ऑर्डर पे श्योर करो. मैं आज 6G बनाऊंगा और जब तक मैं 6G बनाऊंगा तब तक आपके पास 7G आ जाएगा, तो आप कहोगे मैं 7G चाहिए, और 6G का आप टेंडर कर दोगे तो टेंडर में कोई आदमी कम ज्यादा कोट कर देगा. इसके बारे में क्या विचार है आपके? I also welcome Umang Das ji, who is our chairperson for Foreign Investors Forum. इनके साथ मिलके हम काफी इन्वेस्टमेंट्स की बातचीत कर रहे हैं, इनसे भी इनपुट बाद में लेंगे. अच्छा, करियप्पा का भी स्वागत है.
करियप्पा साहब नमस्कार, बहुत दिन बाद दिखाई
Thank you,
दे रहे हैं.
Goel sir. Pleasure to meet everybody. Thank you.
Any views on this? If not, then we move to anybody on innovations R&D. In fact, इस पे हमें काम करना है, करेंगे. दूसरा अभी जो हॉट टॉपिक है वो PLI. जैसे पहले मोबाइल पर PLI आया था 4 to 6%, अब गवर्नमेंट ने 10 सेक्टर्स में अनाउंस किया है, इसमें टेलीकॉम सेक्टर के भी 5-6 प्रोडक्ट डाले गए हैं. इसमें दो तीन प्राइमरी ऑब्जेक्शंस हैं जो जिसकी आज मीटिंग भी है 6 बजे शाम को. तो ये है कि क्योंकि जो लार्ज इंडस्ट्रीज हैं वो ऑलरेडी प्रॉफिटेबल होती हैं, तो उनको आप 6% 5% और दे रहे हैं, MSME को तो दे नहीं रहे हैं, तो MSME को तो आप और नेगेटिव पे ले जा रहे हैं. दूसरा, आज की तारीख में अगर आप बोलोगे इन्वेस्ट करना है 100 करोड़, तो कहाँ से करोगे, ऑर्डर्स कहाँ से आएंगे. तीसरा ये है कि कुछ प्रोडक्ट्स ऐड नहीं किए गए हैं जैसे ऑप्टिकल फाइबर वगैरह. इस पे क्या व्यूज हैं इंडस्ट्री के PLI फॉर टेलीकॉम?
So this is Prashant from Tejas Networks. Sir, the problem here is there is no focus of the government on R&D. So you talk about PLI, you talk about PMI, you talk about like tax rebate for the R&D. Slowly and steadily, the government wants to remove all the incentives from the R&D. So PLI is there. The entire focus is like you should come up and put the factory. You should do a lot of investment in terms of capital, machinery and all. So, and there is no talk about doing R&D in India. Similarly, we talk about the PMI scheme. I mean, till date, we are happy that there is a weightage for the R&D in the DOT scheme. When we talk about the MIghty, there is no talk about R&D in India. The tax credit scheme slowly and steadily has been removed. Now there is no incentive for doing R&D in that scheme. So, I mean, we have to put our foot forward and tell government that from the telecom point of view, at least there is a requirement for creation of an IPR in India. So unless and until there is a development happening in India, you cannot secure your country.
गोयल साहब, I like to respond to something which you said a little while back. आपने 6G के बारे में बात किया. गोयल साहब, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Why is the government always talking only of the blue sky research programs? अभी 6G की बात करेंगे, 2 साल के बाद बोलेंगे वो तो बस निकल गई, अब 7G की बस को ढूंढना शुरू करेंगे. And I've seen it right from 2G stages. Every 4 years we look at the next stage and say कि उस पे काम करेंगे. भैया पहले एक एनालॉग टेलीफोन तो हिंदुस्तान में बनाने का, उसको एक बेसिक चीज को स्टडी कर लो. Why can't India make analog telephones? Plain simple. That's the simplest thing in telecom. हम एनालॉग टेलीफोन भी आज की डेट में, राकेश विल बियर विद मी ऑन दिस, एक्चुअली में सब इंपोर्ट हो रहे. भारती के सबसे ज्यादा टेलीफोन्स हैं. आई एम बायर ऑफ दोज एनालॉग टेलीफोन्स माई सेल्फ, एंड देर ऑल एक्चुअली कमिंग फ्रॉम चाइना. तो जो इकोनॉमीज ऑफ स्केल वहां पर, दैट विल बी अ ग्रेट थिंग टू लर्न एक्चुअली एज टू व्हाई वी आर नॉन कॉम्पिटिटिव. द सेम एनालॉजी विल अप्लाई टू एवरीथिंग एल्स. एंड देन गवर्नमेंट वांट्स कि हम L1 हो. यदि हम L1 होना चाहते हैं तो चाइना से ही माल खरीद के आप आज की डेट में L1 हो सकते हैं. एंड डिसीजन मेकिंग फॉर एवरी टेंडर और एवरी लार्ज गवर्नमेंट परचेज और इवन फॉर प्राइवेट सेक्टर परचेज इज बेस्ड ऑन प्राइस. So that is where government will have to take a strategic call somewhere. Are we looking at always L1 pricing? आप आज रिसर्च करके, आज नया प्रोडक्ट डिजाइन करके आप L1 नहीं हो सकते. I've been managing R&D for last several years and I know this for sure. Economies of scale China वालों के पास है. And why, government has to create a set of models at every stage. Why are we only talking 5G, 6G, 8G and all? आप टेलीफोन इंस्ट्रूमेंट बना लो, आप NMS बना लो, at least software oriented products like NMS, like soft switches, IMS, the whole lot of software products, ERP. Why can't government say कि यार कम से कम, at the world over, India is known for its software supremacy. Why can't we at least say, because somebody was talking a little while back about components non-availability in the country. Yes, components are not available. We don't manufacture components because component manufacturing is a different ball game altogether. Then somebody will start talking of a processor. हम 200 नैनो nm की जो चिप बना के IIT चेन्नई में हम कह रहे हैं कि उसको इंडिया यूज करे. अरे दुनिया आज 14 nm पे बैठी है. People are working on a 6 nanometer technology. So that there's so much of a difference at the component level. We need to decide. I'm not saying I or you or anybody in this group. The government needs to take a strategic call that, look, let's focus on some low-hanging fruits. Let's work on some, blue sky research programs. And not everything should be covered. Let's leave, again, a little while back, Rakesh ji was saying, MNCs are our partners. Yes, they are our partners. Let's all work like a team. Let's identify कि हम processor नहीं बना सकते इंडिया में फिलहाल. So let the MNCs do that job. There are things which you can make in India. Let's define कि यार ये 6 चीजें हम बना सकते हैं. Let's tell our industry to focus on those things. Let's decide कि these 6 things are very difficult for us. Let's leave that for MNCs. And let's leave a few products where India wants to nurture and develop capabilities. Maybe IoT, as Rakesh ji was saying, or artificial intelligence. These are again futuristic programs. Can India focus? Artificial intelligence, man-machine interface, IoT would have a lot of software portion in it.
Mr. Rajesh, unmute yourself again.
Yes, sir.
या आपने अच्छी बात कही. सिर्फ मुझे एक ही चिंता है कि अगर मैं आज बात करूंगा एनालॉग की 2G की, तो पिछले दिनों हमारी पार्लियामेंट में मीटिंग थी, वहां हमने 2G बोल दिया नॉर्थ ईस्ट के लिए. उस पर हंगामा हो गया कि आप नॉर्थ ईस्ट को 2G देना चाहते हैं. तो खैर उसमें उमंग दास जी के साथ थे. मैं कहना पड़ा कि साहब पहले आप गांव में पीने का पानी तो दो, उसके बाद में एविन वाटर ला के देंगे फ्रांस से आपको. तो उस पर काफी चर्चा चली. तो अगर हम आज एनालॉग की बात करेंगे तो हमारी इंडस्ट्री कहेगी इसका हम 4G ना बनाएं, 5G ना बनाएं और हम लेटेस्ट चीज ना बनाएं. इसका क्या जवाब दोगे?
मैंने ये नहीं कहा सर. मैंने कहा कुछ लो हैंगिंग फ्रूट रखिए, कुछ ब्लू स्काई रिसर्च प्रोग्राम्स रखिए. यदि आपको छोटे गांव के अंदर नेटवर्क, यू डिसाइडेड दैट लुक आई वांट टू सपोर्ट से VNL, और VNL 2G बनाना जानते हैं. अरे उनके 2G लगने तो दीजिए, तभी तो वो 5G और 6G के ऊपर रिसर्च करेंगे.
चलिए, गुड. Anybody else on this point?
Goyan ji, can I add few things?
Yeah. आपका स्वागत है मिस्टर अरुण गुप्ता जी फ्रॉम रिलायंस जियो. हमारे अच्छे फ्रेंड हैं, एंड थैंक यू फॉर ज्वाइनिंग अस.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone. And the view which I am expressing is not a Reliance Jio view, absolutely. It's just a industry person from last 34 to 35 years in telecom and works in India and outside India. So as per my experience, one thing I think we are at the right place to pitch in, that all the new technology, whether you call it in IP domain or in mobile domain or anywhere, now we are going ahead on the COTS equipment, common off-the-shelf equipment on virtual network functions, so that everything is software which is riding on the common off-the-shelf hardware. And these softwares are developed by people who are in India working for American companies, or Indians who are working in America for American companies, and we Indian manufacturer or any other manufacturer who is providing these services on the common servers, they are buying from America. So now this is an opportunity that whatever software development is happening, which can be done absolutely in India, how to take advantage with the help of the new technology which is coming only based on the softwares now, because we are not worried about the hardware anymore. It is a simple server and simple common off-the-shelf hardware. That is one thing. And second thing, whether it suits to this forum to take up or separately, what are we doing about e-waste we are generating in this country? Because there is no solid plan for e-waste, for refurbishing equipment, selling them outside country, so that we can get rid of the old equipment which are already there in the country. So over to you, Goel.
सर ये बड़ा अच्छा आपने पॉइंट बताया. This is about the refurbishing, and there was a big news in the media of some dispute between operators on refurbishing equipment for 2G. थोड़ा बताएंगे उसके वास्ते क्या था ये?
See, I am not exactly aware what was the issue with the industry, but what I know as a telecom person is, if one of my card is faulty, I cannot find a refurbished card supplied from the supplier who is outside India. It is not allowed, right? So I have to buy a new equipment only to repair that card. I worked in Africa. My experience from Africa is, I was in Nigeria. So if I wanted to buy a 2G equipment, in place of buying a brand new, I was buying a pre-sold one from some vendor who has bought it from France or Germany or somewhere, repaired it and sold it to me at 1/10 of the cost. So, but the problem with that is, if you keep buying that much, you are inviting the e-waste of other country to your country at cheaper price. You're accumulating it. So that was one problem. That's why India might have banned it. But at the same time, whatever we have in India, suppose say for example, Reliance Communication closed the network. Now entire 2G equipment, where it has gone? Somebody in Kabadiwala took it at 10 rupees per kg, nothing else. It could have gone to Africa and it could have been refurbished. It could have been sold at very high price and served the society for those countries, Uganda and all other places. So just a thinking on what we are going to do, because 5G is going to replace everything. Entire old network will be wiped out. So that was my submission. If we can.
In fact, friends of my industry, lot of people, including SC Soni ji is there, Ashok ji, Neeraj Dhawan ji, Sant Tejas से. सर ये अच्छा पॉइंट बताया कि अगर हम रिफर्बिश इक्विपमेंट लेना भी चाहें तो ले नहीं सकते, और ना ये फैसिलिटी अवेलेबल है. इसके ऊपर हमको मेरे ख्याल से एस्टीमा स्टैंड लेने से डिमांड लेनी चाहिए. आई वुड रेदर ट्राई टू talk to you either here now or separately to just work out a group of 4 or 5 people who can make a paper for this thing to the government. And we should request, because there was a big news, friends, in the media where COI opposed e-waste clearance of refurbished equipment. But one of the operators said there is no problem, it should be allowed. So there is a big issue going on in the market.
Ji, Amit here. Can I say something?
Yeah, Amit ji, please. Amit ji,
I think वो थोड़ी सी misinterpreted news थी.
अच्छा जी.
One part of it was refurbished equipment, which was, as Arunji is saying, for old generation, some 2G equipment, which is probably not getting manufactured anymore anywhere else. Okay. So in order to keep it live, you still need to repair and return the hardware or the cards which go into those models which have stopped manufacturing. But I think the bigger issue right now is, if there is even the state-of-the-art latest equipment on 4G or advanced 4G also, some facilities of repair and return of that do not exist in India. So yes, we are manufacturing or maybe manufacturing some part in India, and that is applicable to Reliance also, by the way, that those cards need to go back out of the country and come back into the country after getting repaired. And there is a proper mechanism which is kept by the government and a regular approval with a committee which sits every 6 weeks or something like that to look at those proposals and give them clearance so that there is no anti-dumping. I mean, to prevent any anti-dumping, which is the thing the Environment Ministry does. So those meetings have not been happening, because of which these cars are not able to go and get repaired and come back, and they might be required for the latest equipment. So I think that was the problem. The media had just tried to twisted it a little bit.
So, Goyal sir, can I?
Goyal sir, sorry. ये बताइए अमित जी, क्या इसमें कोई जरूरत है कि हम इस पे काम करें इस टॉपिक के ऊपर कि नहीं है?
Goyal sir, can I take your 1 minute if you don't mind, please?
Yes, please. Most welcome. Most welcome.
Yeah. Sorry, I just heard about the friends from Arunji and sorry. So without naming sirs that the operator's name, we have that facility. If we talk about refurbishment or cannibalization, both are available in the country. My own associate, where I am part of it, I'm doing it personally and have been doing it. Again, without naming the operators, when Uninar or Tata, when actually been acquired those 2G equipments, the refurbishment has made, R&R is completed. We have given the AMC also. And when just 10 minutes back, Goyalji was saying that when we took in the PMO or in one of the meeting, the 2G name, certain tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, now even if I talk about the rural areas, that equipment have already been deployed and it has not wasted. So there are agencies, there are companies who are already doing it. IPR issue is the challenge today. If we talk about those 2G or 3G equipment were supplied by those our friends, the companies which we are calling at MNCs, and now it is end of life of those equipment, and there are third parties who can actually do it, but IPR issue comes. So one of the topic, Goyal Saab, also we can enlist somewhere that when equipment is end of life, then at least it should be given to the credentials given to those companies who are capable, having the skill set, having the instruments, having the infrastructure to do that.
I think Rakesh, this is Amit Marwa. So,
Hi, Amit.
So you are absolutely right. In fact, there is a potential to make India into a big servicing market for the world by doing this kind of thing. And this is not anti-dumping. This is not that you are getting refurbished. You are actually creating an ecosystem in India.
Absolutely.
And refurbishing it, sending it back out of India, and you could thereby create a whole industry out of it in manufacturing, so to say. So I think
you are right, and it is not only refurbishment, Amitji, it is a cannibalization, and we have done that. Picked up 100, I'm just taking hypothetical number, 100 cards which are end of life, and we have made 60-70% cannibalize it, use those components of the pure defective, and then had made 70% right cards for that, and we have done across. And yes, I'll be happy not only on a that we will be benefited as a company, but overall the skill set and capability are there in the country. There are few companies are already available and doing this.
Mr. Rakesh, I think what we will do, this topic has generated good amount of discussions. We will form a group. Can I request Amit Marwa to lead this group in our association? Would you be available for this, Amit Marwa ji? Amit Marwa,
I can give a draft representation that can be run across, and if everybody agrees.
Okay, fine. So on this point, we will take it from Amit Marwa, and then we will discuss in between the group. We have people already here: Rakesh Malik, Mr. Arun Gupta, Mr. Karyappa, and Mr. Sanjeev Kakkar, Rajesh Toli. We will take all of you together for this group. So now we move to next topic. We have around 15-20 minutes more. Another big topic, and I'm happy that Sunil Sanai is here, is about the mandatory testing. Mandatory testing, and we also have Mr. Dinesh Goyal, who is the president of ICT Lab Association. The issues are, it was announced long back in 2017, before it was announced in 2010-11, not implemented yet fully. Government wants to implement, but one side of people say there are no labs. Other side of people, including PIMA, we say labs are there, but where is the business? Now in the process, this goes on pending from here to there. They've started only 3 phases so far, but most of the critical equipments are still not. I am asking views on about lab, and try recommendations in 2011 was for some incentive for labs. What is the way out according to my industry people for this thing? Mandatory testing. Open, please.
See, Goel Sahab, I'll take lead on this subject.
Okay.
I have been a witness and I have been closely working with TEC. And as you rightly said, that this was started 4 or 5 years back, and then it was dumped, and again it became active. The problem is that already Indian telecom industry is passing through very tough, price war against the Chinese and other, countries' products. So, there is a lobby which is opposing the finalization of ER. They do not want to invest in the test equipments. And of course, there are some test labs which are coming. These test labs also, they do not want to invest without getting any assurance that they will be able to make a break even. So these are the things. Even I also started the same way. I was very hotly chasing TEC, and I even lined up with my principals to give the equipment on a discounted rate and wanted to run a commercial lab. But after all these, pressures from industry side and from the, people who are willing to go for the lab business, I found that it is not an easy business. So I also left. That is probably the reason that because commercially a viable model has to be there to make it a success. Neither side was willing to support this. So despite all the best efforts made by us and by some of our friends, this mandatory testing never saw the day of light. So light of the day. So I want to really say that in India, government has to very strongly make directives. Then only this will happen. Otherwise, it will keep on. Every few years they will start it and then they have to dump it. I passed through a very bad phase. Everything was set up. I even arranged the, a big hall for the lab. Even equipments were finalized, but then there was a very strong lobby which was going against the finalization of ER, and I left it.
Goel Sahab, I think definitely I agree with Neeraj. I think there are lobbies. That's why I think one thing is very clear that, government felt it's important, it's a critical, the policy initiative. It's important from the security point of view. It's important from the standardization point of view, security and safety point of view. And when we go out and sell our products, I think there are, the respective compliances and the certification which we comply to get our product certified to when we go to the outside markets. So I think it's important, the testing policy, which must be strongly, with a strong intent, must be enforced. Now it's a question of whether we have the infrastructure in country or not. I think this is the story which is going on for years. Once the government intent very strongly is enforced, so I think opportunity, all the labs will find the sufficient business or the opportunity to invest in.
Okay.
I think why still in the phase 3 there is no network equipments like mobile technology, BTSs, core network, they are not being included. It's very easy to say that the infrastructure doesn't exist in the country. when the companies are there who are manufacturing in the country, designing in the country, it means the capability exists. Also, I think just to take a clue that when you are supplying something to the BSNL, all these technology, all these product, you get it tested against a very exhaustive GR, which is against the TSAC. So that time also, I understand that when the volumes will be high, that they don't have the limited infrastructure, they can't do it. At least I think with the same intent and the approach, the things can be get started. Even I think the vendors, they have such a strong infrastructure asset based, they can lend their equipment so their infrastructure can be used. I think why can't we make this as a strong submission? And when the all other lobbies are making their point of view that, you know, it's cost, this is, you know, the lack of infrastructure, why this positive storyline also can't as a alternate viewpoint can be submitted? I think
Mr. Sanjeev, I was eager to listen to Dinesh Goyal, who is the president of our ICT Lab Association. Dinesh Goyal ji, you want to say something? So Dinesh Goyal. Dinesh Goyal ji.
Thank you. Yeah, of course, sir. Thank you. Sir, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dinesh Goyal. I have interacted very closely with Goyal Saab, and he's been an association, rather a good one, but we are working on it. Yes. It is again talking about labs for TEC is again a chicken and egg situation, wherein the promises or the light was shown to the lab in setting up facilities, especially for electromagnetic and telecommunication, and we have invested our own, you know, amount money in tune of tens of crores. But then, like Mr. Kakkar said, there are lobbies who have been working behind and not letting this happen is an irony. It's a sad story, and labs have been suffering. Sunil Shenoy is there. He will definitely endorse this point of view and maybe guide us much better. He has more experience in telecom side, but this is something which needs to go through the government process, which has been working only at snail pace. There have been meeting and there have been reactivism. Files from labs have been lying pending with them for 1.5 years or something. Queries have been sent back to us. But then again, of course, we are fighting. But then it always has implemented their CRS. There was a lot of resistance, and initially there was hardly any lab. I remember we were the first battery, among the first battery testing lab when there were only 2 or 3, and now today we are talking investment from us roads just for setting up of
Yeah, thank you, Dinesh ji. Thank you. And yes, I agree with you. As I said,
in China, in this case, only everything from Europe, taking up telecom. So,
yes, sir. As I said in the beginning, labs have been established, around 50 of them, and they don't have business, and industry says no labs. So we will work out on this thing and make some suitable recommendations. We are left around 10 minutes more. I want to welcome Mr. P.K. Garg, former vice advisor here, Mr. N.K. Mathur, our veteran expert from telecom field. Mr. Sanjeev is also here. Mr. Sanjeev, नमस्कार, MTNL. सर आपको अनम्यूट करना पड़ेगा.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone.
कैसे हैं आप?
I'm fine.
Good to see you. Good to see you. So now for the next 10 minutes or so, because at exactly at 4 we have started with the CDOT and Dr. Malcolm Johnson joining. Now we have discussed various things. Any other industry issue people wants to say, raise, give the point, then we will discuss them now or after some time.
Sir, Namaskar. Sunil Shenoy here from Sunderland, Mumbai. I wanted to make a quick point as Dinesh Saab and has already made some important points, and of course I'm pleased to be put this up before so many seniors. Sir, एक important point ये जानना जरूरी है कि what I have noticed is over my past 20 years of testing experience, in recent times, I'm having more and more people who are local manufacturers as my customers. More and more people who are local manufacturers. Let's say if you go back about 10 years ago, then almost 100% of the customers were foreign manufacturers, MNCs, but now I see more and more local manufacturers coming in. Now, while this is happening, I am noticing that the cost of regulatory approvals is extremely high. This is one of the important points which is probably hurting Make in India, because the cost of regulatory approvals, when you talk about local testing, you talk about the fees. Sir, even today, the TEC fees, the BIS fees, all these fees are the same, whether you're a foreign company or whether you're an Indian company. The one point which I wanted to make, the long and short of it, is that government must have a discounted rate or some lower regulatory fees for local manufacturers. So they have some kind of a benefit. Sir, for the foreign companies, they pay in dollars, $1,000, $2,000 दे देते हैं ऐसे ही. लेकिन for a local manufacturer, even if we have to charge 30,000 rupees, वो 3 बार फोन करके negotiate करने की कोशिश करते हैं कि सर हमारे पास इतना margin नहीं है ये product में. So this is one thing which we have to look into, and maybe, I mean, to begin with, the government fees have to be. I'm very because I can see the amount of money that a man has to spend from his pocket, a local manufacturer. So मेरे testing charges है, then he has to pay TEC or BIS or whoever. So all this gets added up. So this is one thing. And second thing is, at a later stage, maybe government can subsidize regulatory approvals, because regulatory approvals, let us all agree, cost of testing is going to be very high no matter what you do, because of the cost of test instruments, cost of calibration. This is a main cost for a lab. Cost of calibration is, please believe me, it's really, really high. Some of the instruments have to be calibrated abroad. Without calibration, we can't run a lab. I mean, our accreditation will simply be cancelled. So these are some of the limitations. So I think the point which I wanted to, the basic point was that some discount in government fees and some consideration for local manufacturers, that would definitely go a long way to help local manufacturers. Being an engineer at heart, I'm always feel very happy when local manufacturers come to me with the product they have developed themselves and discuss with me and how to meet the regulatory requirements and so on. So this is just what I wanted to put up, sir. Thank you.
Excellent.
I think
I like to just 30 seconds on this. Sunil, I fully support what you're saying, and the certification charges are astronomical, but just getting a discount on government fee is not going to help. It's a very small fraction. I have taken it up with the government multiple times. Government TEC also decided that we'll give a 50% waiver on it. Sounds very nice that government is willing to give a 50% waiver. Goel Saab has been with me. As a part of TEMA, I had gone and we took it up with the TEC at the highest level. But the issue is, I give it in statistics. If I have to take a complete approval for a simple product like a PABX, an IP-based PABX, EMI, EMC, all the certification testings, conformance testing of SIP RFCs, and then security certification of STQC, all this will cost me upwards of 31 lakhs for one model. अब ये 31 लाख रुपए में टीएसी कितना चार्ज कर रही है? 1.5 लाख रुपए. अब 1.5 लाख में यदि 75,000 रुपए डिस्काउंट दे भी देगी, is it really worth my effort and time? And now think of it, if for one PABX model, a small Indian company has to pay 31 lakhs, typically we would have 2-3 models. And if you're talking of a R&D company which is developing, so each time theoretically I change a design, I have to spend another 31,000. तो एक तरफ आप कहते हो R&D करो, R&D करो तो हर मॉडल के लिए एक PABX वाला, who's a small guy, PBX is not a very big business. Okay, so it is a very, very serious issue. I have taken it up, but unfortunately I've been the only solitary lone voice. I don't know why other people are not raising the voice. वो GR को मिलाइए, STQC को मिलाइए, SIP की RFCs को मिलाइए, एक PABX के लिए 31 लाख रुपए खर्चने पड़ेंगे। गोयल साहब, आप तो इससे बड़े अच्छे से वाकिफ हैं और आपको सरकार का रिस्पांस भी पता है।
ठीक है, एक्चुअली यस, इट्स ए गुड पॉइंट, कॉस्ट का पॉइंट अच्छा है। हमारा एक सजेशन रहता है, जब ये मैंडेटरी टेस्टिंग नहीं था तब मैन्युफैक्चरर चाहे फॉरेन चाहे लोकल इक्विपमेंट लेके TEC जाता था और खुद टेस्ट इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स अवेलेबल करता था अपने यहाँ या किसी दूसरी कंपनी में, उनसे टेस्ट कराता था। क्या उसको रिवाइव करना चाहिए? क्योंकि अभी हमारे पास EMI, AMC और सेफ्टी की तो लैब्स काफी लग गई हैं, जब हम बात करते हैं टेक्निकल वायरलेस की, रेडियो की, वहां कम पड़ जाती हैं। इसके बारे में विचार देने चाहेंगे अपने, एनीबॉडी ऑन दिस पॉइंट? जैसे मैंने कहा कि इक्विपमेंट मैन्युफैक्चरर अपना इक्विपमेंट लेके TEC में गया और उसने इंतजाम किया टेस्ट इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स का।
Well, sir, if you permit me, जो टेस्टिंग की कॉस्ट के बारे में बात हो रही है सर, देखिए डेफिनेटली शुरू में जब लैब इतना इन्वेस्ट करती है तो थोड़ा हाई प्राइस होता है, बट एज पर एक्सपीरियंस ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम द कॉस्ट डेफिनेटली गोज डाउन। मैं एक सिंपल एग्जांपल BIS का ही ले लेता हूँ, आज से ज्यादा पुराना नहीं है, 4-5 साल पहले जब इन्होंने स्कीम चालू करी थी, 1 लाख रुपए में लोग टेस्ट कर रहे थे एक सिंपल मोबाइल या कोई भी IT प्रोडक्ट को ले लीजिए, 60,000 से 1 लाख रुपए लैब्स का रेट था।
दिनेश जी, भी
15,000 से लेके 30,000 रुपए तक का उस पे रेट आ चुका है। तो जैसे जैसे कैपेसिटी बढ़ेगी, देखिए ये तो कुछ तो कॉस्टिंग definitely come down and it goes seriously with all this. Sir.
दिनेश जी, आपकी आवाज नहीं आ रही है, आप शायद माइक से दूर हैं या आपका माइक ठीक से कनेक्टेड नहीं है। आपकी बैंडविड्थ अच्छी है, बिकॉज वी कैन सी यू ऑल।
अब आ रही है सर?
अब आ रही है
नहीं,
अब आ रही है।
ओके सर, मैं ये कह रहा था कि ओके, costing will always be higher in the beginning because you also understand setting up of a testing lab, especially of a EMI, AMC or a telecom, is not a small affair. It requires a lot of capital, जो कि ऑलरेडी आप ये समझिए कि 2 साल से एटलीस्ट 10 या 15 लैब्स का ऑलरेडी ब्लॉक्ड है क्योंकि रेगुलेशंस नहीं आई हैं। पर मैं ये कहना चाहता हूँ कि ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम, लेट्स से 2 years 3 years, कॉस्टिंग इतनी कम हो जाती है कि ये आपको हर्ट नहीं करेगी। We have seen it in happening for BIS. 1 लाख रुपए से टेस्टिंग चालू हुई थी, आज 15,000 रुपए में टेस्टिंग हो रही है। So that is one consideration one should keep in mind.
गोयल साहब, इसमें जो दिनेश जी कह रहे हैं मैं उससे पूरा सहमत हूं, लेकिन इसमें यदि आप सरकार को एक कंस्ट्रक्टिव सजेशन देना चाहते हैं, जो भी कंपनियां जो R&D कर रही हैं, डिजाइन कर रही हैं, उन्होंने कुछ ना कुछ अपने पास यंत्र का इंतजाम किया हुआ है प्रोडक्ट डेवलपमेंट के लिए, तो यानी कि टेस्टिंग का इंतजाम है। प्रॉब्लम यहाँ आती है जब मैं कहता हूं मुझे SIP की RFC टेस्ट करनी है, तो वो कहते हैं भैया निक्सिया का फलाना इक्विपमेंट होना चाहिए। अब वो इक्विपमेंट 1.5 करोड़ रुपए का, वो तो मैं अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकता। ऐसे 6 इक्विपमेंट लेने हो तो MSME वैसे ही बंद हो जाएगी। लेकिन द फैक्ट दैट MSME इज डेवलपिंग बिकॉज देयर आर होल लॉट ऑफ ओपन सोर्स प्लेटफॉर्म्स अवेलेबल, बट उन्होंने अपने TSTP में लिख दिया कि इस कन्फॉर्मेंस टेस्ट का तरीका ये है, क्योंकि यदि आप ओपन सोर्स को यूज करते हो या कोई एक जेनेरिक नेटिव एप्लीकेशन को टेस्टिंग के लिए यूज करते हो, तो आपको स्टैटिस्टिकल मॉडलिंग करनी पड़ेगी, आपको कुछ कैलकुलेशन करने पड़ेंगे, या आपको प्रोटोकॉल को खुद समझना पड़ेगा। वो निक्सिया का इक्विपमेंट आपको बता देगा ओके, नॉट ओके, डन, पास, तो आपको प्रोटोकॉल समझने की जरूरत ही नहीं है। इसलिए आप वो कहते हो भैया वो 1.5 करोड़ रुपए का इक्विपमेंट खरीदो। यदि आप जेन्युइनली हमारी मदद करना चाहते हैं तो आप सरकार को ये कहिए कि भैया आप ओपन सोर्स प्लेटफॉर्म से लेट्स गेट डाउन टू द बेसिक्स ना, फिजिक्स के प्रिंसिपल थोड़ी बदल जाएंगे।
आपने सही
यदि
कहा।
मैं
और
आपको साउंड के डिफरेंट, सॉरी,
आपने सही कहा राजेश जी, और हम इस पे वर्कआउट करेंगे। जैसे हमने पहले ही आपके साथ गए थे टीईसी में, उसको फॉलो अप करेंगे। अच्छे पॉइंट निकल के आए हैं। आई वांट टू वेलकम मिस्टर एसजी सक्सेना साहब, जो हमारे सीमा के वाइस चेयरमैन है, फॉर्मर डायरेक्टर फाइनेंस बीएसएनएल। मिस्टर इंद्रजीत सिंह जो डीजी हैं साइबर सिक्योरिटी एसोसिएशन के, उनका भी स्वागत है। इनकी माथुर जी को पहले बोल चुका है। मिस्टर भरत भाटिया है ज्वाइन with the co-organizer for our event at 4. Now, we hope that our people will be joining from CDOT very soon, because 4 p.m. is the time for that. Any specific issue you want to take up with CDOT? If you can have in the next 5 minutes.
गोयल सर, मैं 1 मिनट लूंगा। दिस इज राजीव महाजन। जो ये पहले आपने पॉइंट बोला ना कि जिनके पास अपने इक्विपमेंट हैं वहां पे टेस्टिंग अलाउ कर देनी चाहिए, आई थिंक दैट्स ए वेरी वैलिड पॉइंट। हमारे पास पूरा सेटअप है, बट स्टिल वी हैव टू गो आउट एंड गेट इट डन।
वेरी गुड। तो ठीक है, ये सपोर्ट मिल रही है आपसे, और हमारे बाकी हम इसको लैब्स एसोसिएशन में डिस्कस करेंगे। दिनेश जी के एंटर में विल टेक इट फॉरवर्ड। हमारे पास मिस्टर मुमताज अहमद जी भी ज्वाइन किए हुए। मुमताज अहमद जी को नमस्कार, प्रणाम, सलाम। और एनी स्पेसिफिक इश्यूज, because then we hope now any time we will be joined by Dr. Rajkumar Upadhyay, ED CDOT, then we'll start the formal meeting. Any point for CDOT? Anybody for CDOT? Any point? इंद्रजीत जो यहाँ है, ये हमारे साइबर एसोसिएशन के डीजी हैं। मिस्टर विपिन कुमार भी ज्वाइन कर चुके हैं, सीनियर डीजी विजिलेंस थे पहले। मिस्टर आर साकिया है भी ज्वाइन। मिस्टर आर साकिया, अगर कोई सीडॉट से कनेक्टेड पॉइंट नहीं है, तो any other point which our industry feels we should pick up on the agenda to make India Atmanirbhar Bharat for telecom, other than what we have discussed? Any other point which is left out?
मैं एक छोटा सा सजेशन दूं सर।
Yes,
यदि
sir.
आप ये टेस्टिंग लैब्स की एसोसिएशन दिनेश गोयल जी जैसे बता रहे थे, उनकी और जो R&D ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस की एक छोटी सी मीटिंग कराएं, फॉर्मल और इनफॉर्मल, मे बी वी कैन हैव अ ग्रेट सिनर्जी। वी कैन टेल देम कि यार टेस्टिंग के लिए आप इतने महंगे इंपोर्टेड इक्विपमेंट यूज करने की जगह ये प्रोटोकॉल यूज कर लो। आई एम नॉट सेइंग दैट वी आर टीचिंग देम, द इशू इज कि ईच वन ऑफ दीज थिंग्स इज सो स्पेशलाइज्ड, जितने भी वो नॉलेजेबल हो वो हर फील्ड के लिए नहीं हो सकते। तो यदि डिफरेंट फील्ड्स के आप लोग बुलाएंगे, तो मे बी VNL will be able to tell them that look, this could be a better modeling for testing a BTS. Somebody will say, look, for doing sound testing, यदि आपको sound के decibels, frequencies test करने, equipments are very expensive. But we all have some mechanisms, sound panel का बनाया, तो maybe some जुगाड़, some kind of a midway approach, some, let's call it an Indian solution for doing testing. And if they have used open source tools, then it is a third party verification. Somebody may say कि यार राजेश तुली, तुम तो अपना वायरशार्क या होमर या कोई open source tool use करके बेवकूफ बना रहे हो। अरे, they could be neutral professional people who will certify that look, this is what the protocol is and this is what the open source tool is saying. क्या हम ऐसी सिनर्जी क्रिएट कर सकते हैं? सबकी कॉस्ट घट जाएगी।
इनफैक्ट राजेश, आपने कुछ छोटे शब्दों में बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट बात कही। जब ये लैब्स की और मैंडेटरी टेस्टिंग की मीटिंग्स हो रही थी, उस समय मोस्ट ऑफ द डिसीजंस ऑन टेस्ट इक्विपमेंट वर ड्राइव बाय टेस्ट इक्विपमेंट मैन्युफैक्चरर्स, सो दे गॉट इनटू द थिंग्स। एंड ये बात हम हमारी लैब एसोसिएशन के लोग जानते हैं, और हम भी इस बात से एग्री करते हैं। और आई थिंक आपने सही कहा, वी विल हैव ए सेपरेट मीटिंग ऑफ लैब्स विद R&D ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस, और हमें इस लॉग जाम को खत्म करना है। लकीली जो नए सीनियर डीडीजी आए हैं टीसी में, बहुत फॉरवर्ड लुकिंग है। उन्होंने आते ही टीसी के स्पेसिफिकेशंस DR फ्री कर दिए, और उन्होंने जो फॉरेन टेस्ट लैब्स के सर्टिफिकेट्स थे वो अगली 30 जून तक अलाउ कर दिए, एक्सेप्ट EMI AMC जहां हमारी लेबोरेटरीज हैं। वी आर होपफुल, उनके साथ मिलकर हम आगे जल्दी चल पाएंगे। अच्छा सजेशन दिया आपने, इट्स ए गुड थिंग। सक्सेना, आप कुछ कहना चाहेंगे अबाउट CDOT? आप CDOT में रहे भी हैं पहले। यस सर।
गोयल साहब, मुझे बहुत दिन से ये बात आ रही है मेरे मन में। अच्छा है कि आज आपसे बात हो गई। The point is that government has announced Atmanirbhar Bharat and they want a lot of indigenization in the sectors, we have to specifically take up the case of telecom sector at a very high level, including the finance minister, where I think we should form a committee and start meeting them. We have to first of all educate the government the kind of capital requirement which is there for the industry to manufacture indigenously a whole lot of equipments. I think some industries are coming up. VVDN we saw today, where they are building up some infrastructure and so on. But MSME, and even in the testing procedures and protocols, you have seen now how the industry is facing difficulties in terms of a certain predefined protocol. So we must we must invite suggestions from the small and medium manufacturers in the telecom sector. What are their problems? What kind of support they will need? What kind of subsidies they will need? Because the challenges are so large and the gap is so big that once we announce that we are going to be Atmanirbhar, just by an announcement, the industry cannot be Atmanirbhar. The industry is already reeling under so much of pressure of COVID and so on. तो मेरा सजेशन है कि एक कमेटी बननी चाहिए आपके नेतृत्व में गोयल साहब, and then we should all go. First of all, we should collate what all the industry will require, and then we have to tell it to the government that if you really want to be Atmanirbhar, you will have to do all of that. I had studied Huawei in China, and I had found the kind of support and the subsidies and the kind of capital which the Chinese government infused into Huawei.
Mr. Saxena, एक मिनट के लिए होल्ड करूंगा. Friends, we welcome Malcolm Johnson, Deputy Secretary General ITU Geneva, our good friend Johnson ji. Good evening, good afternoon, namaskar, pranam from India.
Namaskar, namaskar. Good afternoon, Prof. Nice to see you. Nice to meet everybody.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Now I'm back to Saxena sir.
Sir, I had suggested this since Malcolm Johnson has joined now. You can go with the regular procedure, but we can do it offline. And to me, it seems to be a very important area, because just by making a certain announcement, if the government thinks that they can achieve indigenization, this will be a pipe dream, I would say. So I think we must come back on this subsequently. Thank you so much.
Namaskar, Saxena sahab. It's good to see you after a very long time. आपने जो बोला बिल्कुल सही बोला सर, एकदम दिल की बात बोली. इसको
ऐसे चल नहीं पाएगा. उन्होंने कह दिया इंडिजिनाइज कर लीजिए आप, फिर ऊपर से स्कीम बना दी कि 1.5 करोड़ का इक्विपमेंट ले आओ. So how can it happen? We always talk in contradictory terms, and in the government there are people who are not hitting at the basis, because I have been there for a long time and I have fought from inside for the industry. I know how difficult it is for the industry and how much taxing it is at times when a regulation has been put in, a certain ambitions have been put in by the government, not backed by any support. So I think we should have to highlight this, otherwise it will remain a tall talk. ऐसी बहुत सी बातें हिंदुस्तान में होती रहती हैं, होता कुछ. So I think we should do it, and Goyal Sahab, under the leadership of Goyal Sahab, let's form a committee and prepare a document and start meeting people now. Thank you so much.
Saxena Sahab can be a very good voice to take up this particular matter.
I am at your service, but I think Mr. Goyal is a great leader, so we can.
Mr. Saxena is our vice chairman for the last 5-6 years.
Mr. Bharat
Bhatia has joined. Mr. Bharat Bhatia.
Namaskar. Good morning, welcome, and everybody. Namaskar.
I want you to especially welcome Malcolm Johnson, who is sitting here.
Welcome. Good to see you again. Sorry, we can't come to Geneva for the last 6 months.
See you.
But great to see you here.
Hope you're keeping well.
Yeah, hopefully everything is okay in Geneva.
Yeah, well, Geneva has got the highest rate of infection of anywhere in Europe.
Oh my God, don't tell me that.
So I'm keeping to the mountains.
Better. Good. Delhi also is picking up very badly. I think it's all over the world now. So it's
terrible. Let's hope this vaccine comes soon.
And great to see all our friends here. And
Mr. N.K. Mathur, I would like you to also welcome Mr. Malcolm Johnson. N.K. Mathur, a former advisor, one of the senior most person here with us. Mathur Sahab.
Am I audible now?
Yes, sir.
Welcome, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you very much, Mr.
We have corresponded in the past.
Yes.
On the question of accelerating decision making in the ITU.
Yes, yes.
And you had written to me once that yes, some group is working on this.
Yes, we've done a lot of work in that area. Thanks for your
yes. That's what the rest of the world also would require.
That's right. Now it's more important than ever before.
Ever before, yes. Because other people are able to take decisions within a matter of months, other organizations.
Yes, yes.
Okay, nice. And welcome to India, yes.
Thank you very much.
Good morning, Malcolm. Thank you. Pawan Garg this side.
Hi, Pawan. Nice to see you. How are you?
Okay, friends. We have been joined by our both VIPs, Dr. Malcolm Johnson and Dr. Rajkumar Upadhyay, ED CDOT. So formally, we would take permission of Dr. Upadhyay. We should start, sir, now. Can we start, Upadhyay ji? Can we start?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you, friends. So friends, let me welcome once again everybody here, and for the purpose information of some of the persons who have joined recently. Sir, we have around 77 delegates here. We have been joined by several important persons. Some of them are Mr. N.K. Mathur, former advisor, one of the senior most. Mr. Sanjeev, who is Director Technical MTNL, we know he is heading for some big posts very soon. We have been joined by Dinesh Goyal, who is the President of ICT Labs, Mr. Deepak Jain from Tima Treasurer, Mr. Ramu from UTL, Mr. P.K. Garg, former advisor, Wildlife, H.G. Saxena, former Director of Finance, Vice Chairman, Amit Barwa, Nokia, Umang Das. He is chairperson of Indian Foreign Investors Forum with us. Mr. Mumtaz Ahmed, Mr. Sakia, R.K. Patak from DOT, A.K. Gupta from APAR, Mr. Janib Metric from SEC, long list, Mr. Sanjay Kakkad from VNL, Arun Gupta ji from Reliance Jio, Arun Sachdeva, ex-MIT Senior Director from Conformity Labs, Ashish Goyal from Delhi Test House, Mr. Deepak Rathod, Radio Design, Neeraj Dhawan, Invast Technology, Josie Fall, Vinol, Naveen, IETC, Pramod Kumar, Convergence, we have Sunil Sonai from Laboratories, Mr. Rajiv Mahajan, Prasant Jain from Tejaz, Rajesh Tuli from Coral, Mr. Inderjeet Singh, who is Director General of Cyber Association, Vinod Khetawat, Head of Eastern Region, Mr. Bharat Bhatia is there, ITAPT, Mr. Asad Wasi from Lekha Wireless, and Mr. Manoj Jain from Bell. With this, let me start a formal slide. Again. Just a second. And I would like to first formally welcome Dr. Malcolm Johnson. Some of the people who are new here, Dr. Malcolm Johnson, even though he sits in Geneva in ITU, but he is more Indian than any one of us. He has been coming to India for last more than 20 years or so, and he knows Indian places, Indian food more than any one of us. We always appreciate his support to India, and he's an Indian friend in the ITU fraternity in Geneva. Okay. I welcome Dr. Rajkumar Upadhyay, who has joined as Executive Director and Chairman of Project Board of CDOT. Dr. Upadhyay, PhD in Corporate Strategy and Policy from Indian Institute of Management, Bangalore, alumnus of IIM Bangalore, and he has master's degree from IIT Roorkee. He also holds certificate in International Public Policy from USA University. He has got several awards, including Dr. J.C. Bose Award, Mr. Deepak Jain Awards, an award by the Ministry of Defense. Earlier, he was ADG for Doordarshan, heading the South Zone region. But to us, he is known as the first officer who has given recommendations to try for local manufacturing, wherein for the first time he suggested out-of-box things like PMA should be for both public and private, incentive for TSPs if they procure more than the targeted for local procurement, establishment of 10,000 crore telecom research development fund and 10 clusters, and focus on R&D and a telecom research development corpus with 15,000 crore. So we owe it to him because all this he talked in 2011. This is the agenda. Of course, we'll go by it one by one. I want to say a few things about TIMA. TIMA was established in 1990, the oldest association. We have also promoted another body called CMI for international business, wherein in total we have 48,500 members, 74 MOU partners. There are around 37 councils or associations formed by us in TIMA, including associations for cybersecurity, for GIS, for education institutes. We are one of the rare association in India, which is equally connected with the education institutes. We are connected to 1 lakh education institutes. We are known world over as the only association who has joined ribbon cutting of CES Las Vegas, which is the world's largest consumer show, the only rare occasion for more than 10 years. We are known to know various leaders in the industry. There are some of the photographs here. We have lots of committees, and we are known for unusual thing is that we are one of the associations who are having a mix of people, not only the educational people, not the industry people, but also the senior IAS bureaucrats, the senior telecom bureaucrats, the experts from industry, market, international. So we have a long list of experts. I will just rush them. These are the IAS we have, starting from 66 batch. These are other persons we have from law, etc. These are the ITS people we have. I would like to welcome now Mr. Pradeep Gupta, CMD, Vice Data. He has joined. Mr. Sakya has joined. Mr. R.K. Pathak has joined. Mr. T.R. Doa has joined. Now I will request for formal address by Sandeep Agarwal. Are you there? Sandeep ji? Sandeep Agarwal? I think he is not here. So I will request Mr. Bhatia kindly welcome and give the address for 3 minutes. Mr. Bharat Bhatia.
Thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Goel Saab, and it is indeed a great privilege and my pleasure to join this August gathering. We're very happy to welcome the two main dignitaries. I'm really very pleased to be here. Now, I just wanted to introduce, I think most of you know the ITU APT Foundation of India, but I thought let me give you a short introduction to what ITU APT Foundation of India is. And I would basically, what I would want to do is show you a small video if I can share my screen. Goel Saab, एक बार unshare कर देंगे अपना screen?
Okay, let me, I don't know, my staff will do it.
Okay.
I will now request DG to brief.
Okay.
Request to please share your screen.
Ajay, you can share the screen.
Yes, I'm sharing it now. Can you see it?
Yes. Yes, we can see it.
So this basically gives a short introduction to the ITU APT Foundation of India. We recently had our 17th AGM and we are a sector member of ITU-T and ITU-D and hopefully soon joining ITU-R. We are recognized by ITU as a regional telecom organization. And we have more than 100 members, mostly from telecom experts from India and many countries. You see here Mr. Dalkar has been there in many of our events. Dr. R.S. Sharma.
Thank you, Mr. Bhatia. I also want to compliment the ITU APT Foundation for organizing this because I have been more or less a permanent kind of invitee on these conferences, and I'm really very pleased with the work which Mr. Bhatia and his colleagues are doing in this space, because I think it's a very credible organization, and then the level of debates and level of so discussions is of conducting such programs which actually not only disseminate knowledge but will also kind of enable a very good brainstorming on the issues, such important issues like for having me on this program.
Our chairman is already here. We have been doing a lot of events on satellite technologies. People from all over the world here. On Wi-Fi.
Context, in the right time, we at ITUPT, Foundation of India, thanks to Bharat, ITUPT Foundation of India, we believe that the awareness has already started about various things taking place, and we need to do more awareness program for the usage of this.
We organized the 5G Huddle, which was a major global program. Dr. K. Sivan, Chairman
is looking 5G as a game changer, as a new phase for economic development. And every country wants to be in the leading area of that. Today, the leaders in
I'm going to stop this here. I'm going to stop this here and share with you some of the activities that we have been doing over this recent months. You know, as the COVID has been going on. Golsab, you can put on your slide now.
Okay.
So as the
go ahead,
COVID
sir.
happened, we haven't been able to do our normal activities, but during the last 6 months, we have been engaged with the industry, with ITU, both ITU-T, ITU-D, and ITU-R on a very regular basis, and have attended a number of meetings. We have been particularly active in ITU-T sector, where we have contributed to some of their recommendations and provided inputs into the ITU-T study group process. Of course, ITU-R has been our forte from initial, and we have been participating in all the activities of Working Party 5D, which is defining the 5G standards and will in future work on the 6G standards. Our main area of ITU-R is on all mobile services as well as on satellite services. We were a major contributor to India's preparations for the World Radio Conference 19 that happened last year in Sharm el-Sheikh in Egypt. And we had taken a large contingent from India as a part of the Indian delegation to Egypt for participating in the WRC as a part of the Indian official delegation. And we did provide inputs to all the agenda items. After a lot of coordination, I think we had almost 11 meetings prior to WRC to help Indian administration come up with their proposals to the WRC. We have also been very, very actively involved in the APT, Asia Pacific Telecommunity, which is the regional coordinating body. I chair a number of groups in that body, and we have been submitting various proposals to that body on a regular basis. Currently, we have been working with the APT in preparing for the World Telecom Standardization Assembly, WTSA, which was supposed to be held right now, actually, in November of this year, but due to COVID has now been postponed to the spring of 2022. I think just now Council has decided to move it to 22, or yet to be decided, but I think there is a thought process that it will go to 2022. And there's going to be WTDC next year in 21. Again, we will work on the preparations for the WTDC one. And of course, our continuing work in preparing for the World Radio Conference 23. I think the WRC 23 is also a very challenging agenda items. There are more than 20 agenda items, and we have already started preparing for those agenda items, particularly agenda items 1.1 to 1.5, which deal with the mobile services and deal with the 4G and 5G, plus agenda item 1.15, 1.16, dealing with the satellite services. India, as you know, is right on the verge of getting into a major way into the satellite services. Earlier in this May, during the peak of the COVID, the Honorable Finance Minister decided that India will open up the satellite sector to the private industry. And this is a great, great initiative by the Government of India under the leadership of Honorable Prime Minister Modi ji. We immediately engaged with Dr. K. Sivan, who is the chairman of the ISRO, and have started working with them. We have already made 2 submissions to ISRO and to the Prime Minister on what is the best solutions for bringing satellite services into India. I'm very happy to say that Mr. Sunil Mittal was the founders of TIMA initially in the 90s. He was also president of TIMA. Has taken a controlling interest in OneWeb, which is a new global entity which is going to provide broadband services to the unconnected through use of the non-GSO satellites. I think this is going to be a great, great boon for India because we will now be able to connect a number of villages, hilly areas, islands, which are not so far connected. So, and we are already, OneWeb is our member and we are working with that. So there are a number of initiatives we are working. We work very closely with Mr. Goel and party. And of course, particularly thankful to CDOT, who is one of the premier members, and CDOT and we have been working together on a number of initiatives. So it's great to see our friend back in CDOT, and we will continue to engage with CDOT on a regular basis, projecting India's achievements to ITU and APT. And of course, Malcolm is our friend and guide, always there. Thank you so much, Malcolm. So with that, I hand over back to Goel sir.
Thank you, Mr. Bhatia. And for the information of all delegates here, about 74, the importance of Mr. Bhatia is not present at UAPT, but the ex-president of TIMA and the founder. I mean, the TIMA took birth into his hands in 1990. And to Mr. Upadhyay, Dr. Upadhyay, TIMA perhaps is the only association in India who can jointly organize a program like TIMA, PhD, ITU-APT, TAIPA, Voice and Data all together. Now I will request Dr. Upadhyay to kindly say a few words for Mr. Malcolm Johnson, and then we'll hear him. Over to Dr. Upadhyay. Dr. Upadhyay, please, for initial address.
Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir. Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Yeah. Okay. Dr. Malcolm Johnson, Deputy Secretary General ITU, Professor M.K. Goel, Chairman TEMA and President CMAI, Shri Bharat Bhatia, President ITU APT, Dr. PVG Menon, CDO ESSC, Shri Pradeep Gupta, CMD Cyber Media, industry leaders, industry partners, officers from DOT, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste to all. Good afternoon to our Indian friends and good morning to Dr. Malcolm. I'm really privileged, honored to be part of this interaction. And I'm especially more happy that Dr. Malcolm Johnson is attending this session. It's a great news for all of us. I have recently taken over as Executive Director, and some of the faces here I know from my association when I was working with TRAI. So some of them I can see here and look forward for closely working with them. As you know, CDOT is the premier R&D organization of Government of India, tasked to develop various R&D technologies for the benefit of this nation. And every one of us know that CDOT is a very illustrious organization and which is responsible for telecom revolution somewhere in 80s and 90s, bringing rural exchanges, which was not the technology available that time. And since then, we have been providing, doing R&D in various areas like switching technologies, optical technologies, wireless technologies, network management, telecom security, strategic application. And as Bhatia Saab was telling that CDOT is an integral part of telecom revolution as well as solution provider of the country. We have developed various products during these times. Namely, some of the product I could name that GPON, for example, is working in our BharatNet project, both OLTs as well as ONTs. We have developed NG-PON, next generation PON, XGS PON, various kind of ONTs depending upon the requirement, DWDMs for taking the transport, high bandwidth transport. Our soft switches are already working in BSNL and MTNL. Our Wi-Fi solutions are working in the rural areas. We are very rigorously working on 4G, and we hope to come up very strongly for the BSNL tender, and we are hopeful that we will be able to give our POC to BSNL for its 4G tender. We also are, developing rural solutions where power is not there, green solutions using solar backed up solutions like Wi-Fi, routers, and we have done great, big work in NMS side. One of the major network of BBNL, including villages, is on the, combined NMS, and the NMS is not only based on the technology of CDOT, but it is integrating various technologies, be it any provider, any proprietary solution, we bring it to our NMS. And I'm very happy to inform that CDOT played a very, very big role, and it continues to playing that big role for COVID-19. We have developed a COVID Savdhan platform, wherein various state governments have been able to give messages, relevant messages related to COVID, and it really helped various state governments to reach out using a common platform. And one more thing is, since Dr. Malcolm Johnson sir is also available here, we have implemented CAP protocol of ITU in India. The Tamil Nadu project is already implemented. It is already working the CAP protocol for the disaster management warnings. And this we are going to implement for the whole country in next 18 months. And I'm also very happy to share with some of you who may not be aware. We were fortunate that Dr. Malcolm Johnson visited our CDOT last year, and he appreciated some of our efforts in bringing affordable solution. And we thank him for his visit. We thank him for his encouraging words. Sir, I would like to assure you that we continue to work on the guidance given by you, continue to work, make affordable solutions for the country as well as other developing countries. I would like to, tell you that our solutions can be most affordable and suitable for developing countries as well as low income countries. Compared to the big industry players in the market, our solutions will be very, very cost effective for with these countries. And I'm also happy to tell you that one of our product, I said, our GPON technology, Wi-Fi technology is working for many villages under BharatNet project. One of our product, Gyan Setu, was given an award by ITU to promote digital literacy. And the CAP is going to be a next big inventor. I mean, the CAP, what we are developing, it is is for a country size like India, implementing in partnership with Ministry of Home Affairs and NDMA. I'm sure that this solution, the CAP solution, as well as the low cost routers, low cost LTE solutions, will be a big game changer and will be a big boost for telecom solutions for developing countries as well. We have a very strong industry partner collaboration here. We have TOT partners. We work very closely with our technology partners, and they have been doing a very good job in terms of production. In terms of indigenous manufacturing, Professor Goel touched upon this subject. In fact, I was advisor in Telecom Regulatory Authority when I was the first task given to me was to write a paper, consultation paper and recommendation on indigenous manufacturing. We gave many recommendations. Some have been implemented, some have not been implemented. One of the primary thing is PMA, which we are closely working with DOT to notify more and more indigenous products under PMA. And definitely, given the thrust of the government towards Make in India, towards Atmanirbhar Bharat, we CDOT as a technology provider is committed to help the industry. And let me tell you from this forum that our total platform or our facility will remain open for the private sector. And if any of the private sector providers, innovators want to collaborate with us, we are very, very open. And shortly, in fact, we are going to put in our website that we have developed one M2M platform, core platform, wherein startups, startups in the space of IoT and sensors and other innovators can come and join with us. They don't have to invest because we know the problems faced by the startups and the small companies. So we will be opening up our complete M2M platform free of cost to these startups so that these startups come up in a big way in our projects in smart city and other projects. And also because we see that these state governments, various state governments which are implementing smart city projects and other such initiatives are working on a proprietary platforms which will have a lock-in for a particular vendor. This will not promote innovation. This will increase the cost. So therefore, we are also working with the Ministry of Urban Development to ensure that once the M2M standards have been transposed and become national standard, and that all these state governments should force these suppliers to be national standard compliant. So in this area, we are going to open up and we are going to give a facility to all the IoT providers, innovators, so that our facility will remain open. And we are very open to work with the industry. And in case our transfer TOT policy, if the industry wants our TOT policy to be changed, I'm open to change our TOT policy. Let me assure the industry that we are committed. CDOT is very committed to see that indigenous manufacturing takes place in this country. And we are actually meant for that. We are not meant for making commercial benefit. We are meant for providing, giving support to the industry so that they don't have to do R&D expenditure and they get ready-made R&D from us. We have our own agenda of R&D, but we are open if the industry tells us, no, you need to do work in this, you need to do work in that. We will be very open. And we are also doing a lot of work, strategic projects for the government, which government gives us on case-to-case basis. We will be very happy that the industry collaborates with us in those regards also, in giving us some more solutions which can help the government. So again, I thank the organizers of this event for giving me this opportunity to be amongst you. And I thank Dr. Malcolm Johnson, Deputy Secretary General ITU, for sparing his valuable time for this particular event. At last, I would again say that we are committed for the industry development and we will be very open. We are always available, and any one of you can talk to me, talk to us, visit us, and require any facility which CDOT should give. We are very open to it and we will be giving this. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Upadhyay. Now I have to request Dr. Malcolm Johnson, but before I request him, Malcolm, you remember first time I met you, you explained me the importance of time. So your time was 4:23, exactly 4:23. Request your address, and I have given back to CDOT after 1 year. At that time, you said CDOT has best technologies for developing countries. So here you are. Please, Dr. Malcolm Johnson, your address. Over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Professor. Good afternoon, everybody. Namaste. Let me thank the professor for inviting me to speak to you at this august gathering. I've had a very long association with Professor N.K. Goyal, especially through his chairmanship of TEMA and president of CMAI, Association of India. So delighted to have this opportunity to welcome Dr. Rajkumar Upadhyay as the new executive director of CDOT, and congratulate you on your appointment to this very important role. It's nice to see so many good friends joining the event, especially my ITU APT Foundation of India friends, who contribute so much to the work of ITU. And as we've heard from my good friend, Mr. Bharat. So I look forward to meeting you all in person, meeting you, Dr. Upadhyay in particular. Normally I visit India every year, you know, since I've been in ITU, but wasn't possible this year, of course. Hopefully next year it will be, when we get over this terrible pandemic, and hopefully we can return to a more normal life. But of course, I say normal, but it surely won't be the same as before. But one good thing that has come out of this crisis, I believe, is the greater awareness of the benefits of our technology, the benefits it can bring to the whole world. And only through this technology are we going to be able to achieve the UN's Sustainable Development Goals. The importance of the technology, of course, is clearly recognized in India. Right from the very top, the Honorable Prime Minister with the Atma Nirbhar Bharat program, Make in India, and the emphasis on research and design in the telecom sector. I'm also very happy to meet virtually Shri K. Ram Shad, Member Technology, and Shri Sanjay Kumar Rakesh, CEO of CSC. And as was mentioned, I had the pleasure of visiting CDOT just over a year ago, and a very interesting tour of the many impressive, innovative technologies and products being developed there, as has just been described by Dr. Upadhyay, as well as visiting the generous accommodation provided in CDOT for the future ITU area office for South Asia. Having that office there will ensure excellent collaboration between ITU and CDOT in the future. So coming from a small village myself, I was particularly impressed with CDOT's contribution to connecting villages and remote areas of India with high-speed broadband and promoting digital literacy, digital empowerment. This will bring the benefits of health and education to the remote areas and accelerate their social economic development. If people can benefit from these developments, it can boost entrepreneurship and encourage startups and other small industries in remote areas, and reduce the trend to urbanization, which is creating so many problems around the world. I'm pleased that CDOT is playing a significant role in evolving the indigenous telecom standards to ensure that they satisfy the demands of the rural areas as well as the urban areas. And as was mentioned, very significant development on ITU's Common Alerting Program protocol. India's emphasis on improving the lives of its rural communities means that these developments offer a very successful transition to other developing countries facing the same problems, especially in Africa and other South Asia countries. I was pleased that one of CDOT's innovations was nominated for an award of excellence by the World Summit on Information Society Forum this year. And this was addressing the need for providing connection to the internet for illiterate populations and also persons with disabilities. So congratulations for that. We look forward to seeing more nominations in the future. You know, in ITU premises, we are using a CDOT implemented design solution. This is to help visitors navigate their way around our 3 buildings and to find their way to whichever meeting they're attending. I've always advocated greater involvement of India in the work of ITU. Every time I come, I try to promote more members in India to ITU. We're looking forward to continuing that effort with CDOT. And of course, when the new area office opens, that should open up a lot of potential for more members, especially from the new SME membership category that we have, and also our academia membership category. So I'd like to wish Dr. Upadhyay and CDOT continued success with its very important work. I look forward to visiting you again soon, hopefully on the occasion of the opening of the new ITU area office there next year. Thank you all, and I wish you and your family safe and well. Thank you very much.
Please unmute and say a few words. Dr. Upadhyay, please unmute yourself and say a few words. Dr. Malcolm Johnson.
Thank you. Dr. Goel, Professor Goel, I have to speak?
Yeah, you have to speak, sir.
Yeah, thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Malcolm Johnson, for those encouraging words. Definitely, we will continue to develop technologies which can help rural masses and underprivileged to see that the sustainable goals, development goals of United Nations set by 2030, we are able to mitigate all the parameters set in Sustainable Development Goals of 2030. And I am really eagerly waiting for ITU office to come here. I think we have identified this space, and it is going to give us a great opportunity to work very closely with ITU and finding solutions for low-income countries, developing countries, and providing affordable solutions to reach the goals of United Nations Sustainable Development Goals of 2030, to eradicate poverty, to provide quality education, to give proper health, to mitigate gender bias, and all other parameters which are there in the Sustainable Development Goal of 2030. So thank you so much, and we look forward for your visit once again to CDOT whenever you are in India, and we look forward for ITU office very, very soon. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your encouraging words, and we would definitely strive to work hard to provide solutions to the underprivileged, to low-income groups, to all the citizens of not only our country and also other countries. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Upadhyay. Now is the time for us to give recognition to Dr. Rajkumar Upadhyay as ICT World Communication Summit and Awards for excellent contribution for telecom research development. Mr. Malkan, if you can say a few words to congratulate Dr. Upadhyay.
Yes, well, I mean, as I say, we're very keen to have more involvement from India and ITU, and to recognize the tremendous work going on there. So much potential there with all the innovation that's going on, so many thousands of startup companies, they have the benefit of coming to ITU to be recognized. You know, these innovations can be recognized and get promoted on the world stage. So it opens up a lot of commercial potential as well. And there's so much potential for India to take a lead amongst the developing world because you've got the ability to develop these products, especially for satisfying the challenges in the rural and remote areas. And that's where the world's half the world's population is living, which is still unconnected to the internet. So tremendous potential there. And I'd like to congratulate you for that and look forward to further work in this area. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Malkan. And as promised, I promise you that I will leave you before 4:45. So I am allowing you to leave, and we'll miss you, but we'll request you again to join us sometime in future. Thank you to Malcolm Johnson. Everybody, thank you.
Thank you, Malcolm.
Thank you very much. Nice seeing you all. Nice to see you. Hopefully see you in person next year.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you very much.
Bye-bye.
Thanks all. Thanks all.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Now I will go out of protocol. But I will request, of course, the slides here. But I will request now Mr. Sanjeev Kumar, our Director Technical MPNL, to say a few words. Mr. Sanjeev Kumar, Director Technical. Are you here? Mr. Sanjeev Kumar, Director Technical. I think he may be missing somewhere. We'll wait him another. Now I'll come back to Sandeep Agrawal, our co-chairman, TPC, vice chairman, TIMA, chairman, PhD. Kindly say a few words. Sandeep Agrawal ji.
Thank you so much. We are here today to celebrate successes of CDOT, and that is what we are going to do today. And I really commend Mr. Rajkumar Upadhyay ji to take over this position, this esteemed position of ED CDOT, where all the technology is boiling and bubbling today to come out and make India an Atmanirbhar Bharat. So I know one thing for sure: the technology, the small cell technology, the small core technology of 4G, 5G, which CDOT has come up with, is a game changer. Probably today BSNL is not understanding that the technologies of older generation companies used to have big cores which required that one SSA or even one circle or the whole of country could have a single core. But today, the technology from CDOT is so cost effective and so interoperative that you can use multiple cores in the same area without problem. I believe that is what Mr. Rajkumar ji was also telling us all about. So in fact, it becomes the responsibility of the industry and the CDOT together with DOT to make BSNL also understand that they will not be shortchanged by the technology being provided by CDOT, and the industry together with CDOT can really do wonders with multiple vendors in the same technology instead of a very few limited 2 or 3 vendors. The reliability of the project will actually going to increase, because if there is one vendor who is of not quality, then there will be 10 others who will be possible, who could be giving results. Whereas if ZT did not perform, or it is blacklisted, or for any reason it is not avoided by the state, then there is no option left for BSNL today. But with the CDOT technology, that issue will not be there. So I would say that today industry is looking towards 4G and 5G revolution, where 100 times more radios are going to get connected, 100 times more optical fiber connections will be made through FTTH and connection to the towers. And India is going to be a totally changed country because M2M communication is going to really bring in that new change. So we are confident that CDOT together with the industry is going to change and improve the Indian image in the world. Thank you.
Mr. Sandeep, thanks a lot. Thank you very much. Now I have to introduce and request our good friend, Dr. PVG Menon, now CEO ESSC. We have spelled CEO wrongly, but Dr. Menon and we shared lots of space in the past together, including our advocacy in US and India. Dr. Menon, as a CEO of the Sector Council, few minutes from you. Thank you. Dr. Menon.
गोयल साहब 2 मिनट मुझे भी दीजिएगा अगर हो।
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Professor Goyal. Thank you so much for inviting me. May I start by congratulating Dr. Upadhyay on his taking over of CDOT. It's an institution that many of us look up to as a shining beacon of hope for R&D in this country. The electronic sector skill, we are in the quest to provide trained manpower. Till date, we were set up about 8 years ago, and till date, we have skilled 12 lakh people for the electronics service and manufacturing sector. And with the increased focus on Make in India, and of course to fulfill the vision of Atmanirbhar Bharat, we have added a lot of job roles around electronics manufacturing. And today, in the last 2 years, we have already trained about 1 lakh boys and girls for working on the enormous investments that are happening in the electronics manufacturing space. Of course, telecom is a big component of that, as are consumer products. And we are looking at a trajectory where we can also work on upskilling young engineers. So far, we have been looking at more the assembly line, blue collar kind of jobs as to meet the requirement of creating skilled manpower for the fast growing electronics manufacturing services segment. But increasingly, the focus will be on higher skilling. We're looking at adding to the competency in deep tech for our design engineering team. And I hope that in the next 2-3 years, the ESSAI can contribute to building innovation-led design-led manufacturing vision for the Indian electronics industry. Once again, Dr. Rajkumar sir, welcome. And I hope that we can help in any small way we can from the skill development perspective. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Menon. I have now to request Mr. Pradeep Gupta, TMD Cyber Media Voice Data. If TIMA claims we are there since 1990, I think Pradeep Gupta ji is also there almost same time. And for today's event, he has been a great help to us being the media advisor. Pradeep Gupta ji, for you for a few minutes.
Namaskar, Goyal Sahab. Namaskar, everybody. First of all, would like to welcome Dr. Upadhyay. It's indeed a great thing to hear those words coming from you about the focus coming on Atmanirbhar Bharat and so on. And I sort of moved back in history, when 35 years back, when the organization was formed, the main purpose of CDOT was that can we develop indigenous technology? Is it possible for us to make that technology available to Indians? Is it possible for us to make that international? Is it possible for us to address rural areas? And I'm so glad that 35 years later, we are actually able to witness the fruits of that taking place. Few things which I would just like to mention is that technology focus should move to a solutions focus. And similarly, instead of just talking about various systems, I think what we need to do is build up ecosystems. What I mean by that is that if you look at the developments that have taken place in the last few months because of the pandemic, when we looked at something like, let's say, the migrant problem, telecom that came to tremendous amount of rescue as far as the entire migrant problem was concerned. Therefore, rural connectivity automatically starts getting enhanced. Moment we start looking at the geopolitical issues that we faced during the last 7-8 months, automatically the focus on Atmanirbharta starts coming to the fore. And I'm so glad that it is an organization like CDOT which is going to be absolutely at the fore and is going to be driving that. And that is what I mean by developing ecosystems. So therefore, for instance, if startups need to be promoted, then CDOT needs to create a complete sort of an ecosystem where it is a technology, it's a market, it is access provided, it is funding that is provided, it is mentorship which is provided, a complete sort of a thing which is worked out to ensure that the technology can actually go into transformation of India in terms of both the challenges which are there. One, taking it to not just India but to Bharat, to connect remote places. And the second thing is to make India into a manufacturing hub and work out solutions not only for India, not only for developing countries, not only for the Bharat part of it, but actually develop global technologies. I think that is something that we need to be doing. So, Dr. Upadhyay, you have a tremendous challenge ahead of you. We have interacted in your several avatars in the past. We have interacted with you, and we will continue to interact with you. Your predecessor, Mr. Tyagi, was again, we had a lot of interactions with him. Voice and Data will continue to have the same sort of, and you can count on us on whatever is the kind of support that you require for any of your projects, goals, what you want to achieve. We are always there, right there for you. Look forward to a continued interaction with you in the future as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pandit ji. Thanks a lot. Now that it's time for CDOT presentation, but before Ms. Saxena, I will ask you, Ms. Saxena.
I need 1 minute, Goel sahab.
Okay, Saxena sahab.
Thank you very much, Goel sahab. And I also welcome Dr. Rajkumar Upadhyay. I would like to introduce myself, Dr. Upadhyay, as one of the founding member of the team which set up CDOT. I feel very good that you are now joining CDOT as the executive director. But we set up CDOT in one room in Akbar Hotel where we had 4 chairs and 5 people. Pitroda, Mr. Mimamsi, Dr. Pitke, KB Lal, and myself. So from there we have come a long way, but I can tell you it had been a very tough job and it has been a very difficult and challenging journey. So I'm glad that you have come at a time when CDOT is almost at its apex, and I have every hope that you will take it further down the road to victory. Before I end, I would also like to speak on behalf of BSNL. I was also a member of the team which started BSNL. And I am very proud to say that BSNL is the only company which allows the indigenous technologies and accepts indigenous technology in the telecom sector. All other operators don't talk about indigenization. And when we give you this challenge to give us 4G, it will be really a big challenge for you to ensure that BSNL succeeds and the technology succeeds. So with these small words, I welcome you once again, and it is a proud privilege to see you and step into the shoes of Vipin Tyagi, who was also a very great friend of mine. Welcome once again. Wish you all the best. Thank you.
Saxena, thanks a
Thank you, Goel
lot.
sir, for giving me this.
Yeah, Mr. Saxena, thanks a lot. Actually, sir, I missed out to tell that member T is not able to join today because he's on leave. And we have been joined from DOT as per his advice, Mr. R. Sakia, GD Satellite. We know you, sir, even today as GD Security, which you are expert. So can I request you to say a few words? Sakia, sir, please unmute yourself.
Good afternoon, everybody, and I think very warm welcome to Dr. Upadhyay, who is joining as the Executive Director. I think I'm one of those lucky people who had been there in the earlier association with Dr. Upadhyay. And of course, I think I'm yet to be considered as the person of satellite, because in the mind of the people, I'm still being treated as the security personnel. So thanks a lot for that kind of the remembrance. But as Mr. Saxena has pointed out, I think the movement CDOT comes, it bears a very high responsibility in terms of the Indian national requirements. And those requirements are not only in terms of, say, technology provision, but to fulfill the desires with respect to the inclusion of the people in digital divide kind of the requirement or the digital empowerments. And it's not possible without the technologies coming from the indigenous front. And being the premier institute of the country and the only sole government funded entity, I think it is the biggest responsibility on Dr. Upadhyay in the forthcoming days to ensure that the dreams of the Atmanirbhar comes absolutely true. We understand you have got a fantastic team of the most intelligent people in the country working with you. I'm sure that dream, whatever in terms of the Atmanirbhar, the PM has envisioned, or the current ecosystem is being built up thereon, you will be able to lead that with your able hands, with your visionary mind, with your skill set of, driving the people together. We wish you from the DOT side a very big success, because ultimately the Atmanirbhar will come only when we have the indigenous technology in terms of R&D, and with the support of Mr. Goel, who will be helping along with other industry members to get it manufactured and then deploy within the network. Mr. Saxena has rightly pointed out, it shall not remain a technology being deployed only in the BSNL because of the choices of the private operators, but maybe we have to come out with a product which can lead the world, and the all private operators shall feel privileged to go for the indigenous technology developed by the CDOT. I'm sure there is nothing makes minus in terms of the CDOT doesn't have. You have every ability, you have every intelligence. It is just the mindset and the driving force, which I'm sure you will be providing to the people within the organizations. In terms of support required from the DOT on behalf of the member T, who is the always guiding force for all of us, whatever is required in terms of the budgeting support, in terms of technical interaction support, in terms of providing the platform towards the industry, towards the standardization bodies, in whatever form, I would like to convey on behalf of Mr. Ramchand, Member Technology, that we are eager to help you on all possible fronts, wherever you wish that the requirement is there. To get support from the DOT, you will find the DOT on your doorsteps, always to help you. But definitely, I think there is a big pressure on the DOT to ask BSNL go for the indigenous technology, and I think that dream has to be fulfilled by you, and you can demonstrate your skill set by providing I should say one of the best technologies for the 4G tender coming out from the BSNLs, and that will lay down the foundation for your beginning. But I again say that we have got the full confidence in you, full confidence in your team, in your organization. We don't have any kind of say fear or the doubt in mind of the DOT that the CDOT won't be able to provide it. So we look forward for that kind of the approach and prove yourself as the first say a milestone in terms of the 4G technology being given to the BSNL. So when we participate for the technologies in the 5G in different fashions, the other private operators come forward and ask you to have the partnership along with them to deploy the indigenous technology within the India. And I'm sure since the whole globe is a village, as per our philosophy of say Indian mythology, right? So whatever technologies are being developed by CDOT, they shall not remain a technology just for the India, but they are to provide the connectivity to the rest of the world, the people who are not able to afford the technologies from the developed world. So we can really work as a bridge connecting everybody together all across the globe and be proud of being an Indian helping the humanity through the CDOT. So my good wishes to Dr. Upadhyay and all kind of support on behalf of the member T and the DOT which we would like to extend, and whatever facilitation is or required, we will be eager to help you. I think with this I will conclude from my side. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you,
sir. Shakya ji, thank you to member T in absentia. Thank you to DOT. Mr. T और दुआ अकेले चुपचाप बैठे रहते हो, एक मिनट तो बोलना पड़ेगा. He is the DG of TAIPA and also chairman of ITU-APT. 1 minute for you, sir. Please unmute yourself. Please unmute Dua sahab.
Good evening, everybody, and good evening, Dr. Upadhyay. I'm glad to listen to your speech, and we are delighted to have you on a very, very coveted position and well-deserved position. My association with you goes, now I'm putting on 2 hats. One is the chairman ITU-APT and the director general TAIPA. I just sent you a WhatsApp also. My interaction with you while you were there have been really, really very mild personality and a helpful attitude. And in today's scenario, I think the right approach and the right candidate which has come is to fulfill the dream of the Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Modi ji, and also in view of the new emerging technology. And in the present avatar, while I was interacting with you and I was in the COI, in the present, also in the TAIPA, we have been in an interaction with the then ED. We hope to continue to interact with you. There are a lot of things that we and as a tower and infrastructure provider association can do together with CDOT. With that, I will again give you a warm welcome. Stay connected, stay blessed, and God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dua sahab. Thank you, Lord. Now is the time for Aman from CDOT to kindly give the presentation. Everybody knows about CDOT, but even then it's refreshing to know something more about CDOT. Aman from CDOT.
Distinguished guests and dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, namaskar and a very good evening to all of you. I extend my warm greetings to the members of this August gathering comprising of the telecom veterans. In the next few minutes, I shall be making a presentation covering our recent telecom R&D initiatives and their impact on the evolving telecom landscape in India, and also their importance for the neighboring countries, especially ASEAN, SAARC countries, and the countries from Africa, which have the similar kind of geography that India has. So, ladies and gentlemen, as our executive director pointed out, CDOT's vision has been to become the world-class telecom technology development center since its inception in August 1984, when we came up and being hailed as the progenitor of the indigenous telecom revolution. We now have diversified our telecom product portfolio into becoming a world-class telecom R&D center, which not only develops technologies, but also enables manufacturers to develop the technologies, manufacture the technologies in a cost-effective, resilient, and scalable manner. So our mission has been to develop the state-of-the-art technologies and to meet the telecom needs of India, particularly of the national importance, in strategic sectors and the rural telephony, where a lot of people are not present because of the limitations that rural and diverse geographies like the inhospitable terrains and the archipelago, the islands offer. So moving on to CDOT's journey, if we say that like we started with the rural exchanges, but sooner the telecom landscape started changing and evolving. So in order to keep ourselves abreast with the latest technologies, we had to diversify our product portfolio. We focused on the optical technologies, the GPON that has been deployed in the village panchayats and is the foundational backbone of the national optical fiber network named BharatNet. And after that, there was a different blend. The term telematics now is no longer limited to telecom equipment. Rather, in order to meet the emerging requirements of the telecom landscape, we have to focus on the intermix of both the telecom hardware and the telecom software solutions to meet the emerging requirements of the rapidly evolving telecom networks. So now our focus has been on building telecom equipment that can be blended with the latest technologies, which are based on artificial intelligence, machine-to-machine communications, open source intelligence, and the emerging standards on big data, so that we can come up with a holistic product portfolio that can become a one-stop destination for meeting the communications network requirements. If we talk about our strengths, CDOT's infrastructure, as a lot of people pointed out, we are really honored to hear a lot about us. We have a pool of talented engineers who are recruited from the top technical institutions of the nation. That includes the prestigious IITs and NITs. And it is noteworthy that more than 90% of our workforce is technical. People are either masters, bachelors in engineering, and also pursuing their doctorates. So we have a diverse workforce which is experienced in different areas of telecom. So if we talk about CDOT's strengths as a technology R&D hub, we are present in the entire technology development lifecycle that starts from the concept, goes up to design, testing, validation. We have a pilot production plant where we carry out the prototype design, the prototype assembly. Then we have a dedicated group which forms a collaboration with the vendors and develops an ecosystem whereby we can easily source the components for the ease of manufacturing by our manufacturers, the indigenous manufacturers. And then we'll take our technology for the field trials in diverse scenarios. So that is the kind of strengths we have. And not only that, after that, we build a complete transfer of technology framework whereby we invite manufacturers for understanding the product in detail. And we have several groups who are interacting with the prospective manufacturers to understand it. And in the entire process, our focus is on obtaining. And during the life cycle, our entire focus is on obtaining various certifications so that whenever there are new business opportunities coming in both India and abroad, we are not left behind because of some lack, maybe in terms of certifications and maybe in terms of compliance to certain procedures. So we are very particular about the latest procedures that are handled in the areas of production, testing, electronic packaging, even in deciding the future roadmap of the products, because we want to keep ourselves abreast with what is happening around the world. Moving on to our areas, our core areas, as I mentioned that we have a diverse telecom product portfolio that spans different technology areas, which include the switching and routing, the optical communications, the telecom security, the wireless technology, the network management systems, and the telecom software applications, which are based in the areas of artificial intelligence, big data, and a lot of other interesting areas wherein we have developed great technologies. So coming on to our recent contributions to the nation. If we talk about building a digital India that aims to connect and develop rural India with the mainstream technology developments, then our first endeavor has been BharatNet, whereby CDOT's GPON technology is fueling the entire network with its cost-effective technology that was awarded after a strong competition from several MNCs. And along with that, we have an expertise in the area of software, specifically the network management, and we have been developing the network management for managing it to pan-India in a very ease and convenient worthy manner. Along with that, we are also having the tools for GIS-based fiber planning. It's not only about developing technologies, it is also about optimally planning the network. So we are now continuously working on developing tools for network planning as well. And as far as our technologies are concerned, we have been there with our broadband wireless terminals that have been very effective in extending the last mile connectivity in the villages through our Wi-Fi hotspots. And common service centers have played a key role in proliferating CDOT-based Wi-Fi hotspots to our villages. And now we are also focusing on extending the broadband through CDOT satellite Wi-Fi to the areas like the inhospitable terrains and the islands, where you can't have the fiber connectivity and where there are a lot of issues related to snapping of fibers and the lack of connectivity. Because our aim has been to bridging the digital divide that exists between the rural and urban India. As an initiative towards digital literacy and empowerment, as our executive director pointed out, we have come up with a solution called Gyan Setu that was also conferred with an award of excellence by ITU. This is a platform that enables the access of internet by the people who are illiterate and by the people who are specially abled. For example, a farmer who doesn't know about the text, a person who is illiterate doesn't know the text, but he has high-speed broadband coming in the villages. So our aim was to give him the targeted information in the best possible manner. Now with the expansion of new facilities coming in which promote the sharing of information over audio and video platforms, and also the features like the NFC readers like a metro card, we can give these devices to people. They can come to a common point like a village panchayat or a school, and they can work on this device and get the desired information. For example, a person may know about his pension benefits, whether it has been credited into his account, and it can be further linked with Aadhaar and other services for enabling financial transactions in a confidential manner. And along with that, it is noteworthy to mention that our technologies have been scalable. If we talk about the migration of the old TDM exchanges in the BSNL to the next generation exchanges, we have done it with the least change in the infrastructure. We have developed a card that can be easily put in the exchange, in the existing exchange, and it can give you the services of an IP exchange. So such has been the power of indigenous R&D that we did not have to do away with the existing infrastructure. It had been done in a very cost-effective and resilient manner. Moving on to some of our endeavors in the areas of optical technologies, as pointed out by our executive director, we have now been upgrading the GPON to XGS-PON to cater to the high-speed bandwidth requirements, and are also building several networks which are based on technologies like DWDM, which will play an important role in building the backbone for 5G, when there would be requirements for high-speed data transmissions. So such are the things wherein we are working now. And these things are going to have great applications in the upcoming areas where there will be hordes of data, and the high-speed transmission would play a key role in satiating the demand of bandwidth and also ensuring the quality of service to the users. And now, as we know about our Honorable Prime Minister's vision of building aspirational villages, smart cities, digital villages, such technologies are going to play an important role in building the backbone for the proliferation of benefits to the masses. So these are the glimpses of our technologies, GPON, NGPON, XGS-PON, and DWDM. And also we have shown some snapshots of our fiber planning tools, which are based on GIS. If we move on to the switching technology solutions, we have a complete digital infrastructure available at our end, which can support the creation of next generation networks. If we talk about the soft switches, they are available with us. If we talk about routers and switches, we have a variety of routers and switches available with us, not only to cater to the data center segment, but also to cater to the high capacities of terabit and multi-terabit, which are soon going to be required when we are going to plan the convergence between smart cities and the aspirational villages. Now, we have also increased our focus on making our current routers and switches STN and NFV compatible so that they can be easily fitted into the cloud environment. Along with that, we are working on evolving new exchanges and also making it compliant with the latest standards like the IMS. Moving on to our portfolio in the wireless technology segment, we have come up with solutions specifically for catering to rural Wi-Fi requirements, where power is a big concern. So what we have done, we have come up with different configurations of our Wi-Fi solutions. Like you can see on this slide, we are coming up with solar Wi-Fi and long-range Wi-Fi, which are fitted for our village environments, wherein power is an issue, installation is an issue. And then this thing can provide you bandwidth and the Wi-Fi services in a much reliable manner in comparison to our indoor equipment. So our focus has been on ruggedizing our equipment for use in harsh environments as well, be it the marine climate, be it the extreme cold or extreme heat. So our solutions are quite resilient to work in different kinds of environments. And the kinds of certifications and the testing that we undergo for our solutions in TEC and other areas during the field trials further give a boost to our solutions and establish their operations in different kinds of deployment scenarios. Now moving on to the LTE-A, which was much talked about these days for the BSNL 4G tender, it is noteworthy to mention that we have developed our complete EPC comprising of all nodes and also developed the eNode B. So now we have the 4G core, RAN, and several other solutions like the NMS and EMS to manage them easily. And we are also working the use of 4G for working in the 5G non-standalone mode. And we are making it IMS compliant for supporting operations like voice over LTE in an easy manner. And we are also inviting industry and startups to come and do testing with us with our EPC. And also we are working on several other secondary elements of a complete 4G network, which includes the billing and all these softwares. So we are also interworking with the ones which are available through our manufacturers and developers in the market. So that process is undergoing with much focus on roping in the startups and the industry. And we are also working on a prototype, which is called Sarvatra. That is basically a platform for having all kinds of technologies in one packet. So we will have one complete package which can offer you 5G. And if 5G is not available, it can provide you the fallback options to go back to 4G and the best optimally suitable solution that is available in that scenario. For example, 4G is not available, it will go to 3G or Edge or maybe LoRa. So such is our focus, that we should come up with a prototype that is all encompassing and can manage to different kinds of network requirements in different areas due to the availability of the bandwidth and several other parameters which play an important role in extending the suitable and the optimal bandwidth for different operations to users in different areas. And now if we talk about the telecom software solutions, we have come up with a solution called Samvad that is currently deployed in several government departments. It is a solution like WhatsApp that offers you premium secure call and chat services. All the features that are available in the popular platforms are already being offered in this solution. And along with that, we offer you a highly secure environment, whereby we can even have the custom encryption algorithms. We have the entire data security, which is maintained because the servers are hosted in-house. And there are several other encryption capabilities, which are based on features like off-the-record features for shared secrets, and also the vapor messages, which get automatically deleted from your devices. So such is the importance for strategic enterprises and defense establishments, and they're being used currently by the agencies, and we are offering it to all government departments free of cost for use and gauging their feedback. And we have also developed a video conferencing solution, which is as good as the one available in the market. And we have come up with exclusive features like the whiteboard for collaboration, for polling during the ongoing video conferences and webinars, for recording the minutes of the meetings, and several other features which can be easily seen when you actually experience or when you actually start using this tool. This tool is also being offered free of cost to the government departments for their feedback and also to other users. And since we had Dr. Malcolm Johnson, so it is, I would like to mention about our common alerting protocol-based early warning platform that have proved quite effective in managing the disaster relief during the Kerala floods and the Sri Amarnath Ji Yatra. And currently it is being planned to be rolled out pan-India with support from National Disaster Management Authority and Department of Telecommunications. The same common alerting protocol has also been used in managing the COVID-19. We have been able to deliver important information to several people to manage COVID-19 in a better and coordinated manner. So I would like to mention the statistics now. So far, 310 crore SMSs have been sent in 10 languages across 26 states and union territories, and which have been highly beneficial for people in planning their move, in planning strategies for managing COVID in a better way. If we talk about the artificial intelligence and machine learning based solutions, we have a face recognition tool and the object detection tool, which is available, which can offer high degree of accuracy and highly effective in the modern scenarios. For instance, I'll give one example whereby we can easily monitor a construction site. There are certain items which are prohibited in a site, and several safety protocols like how the helmets are being worn, how the protection guards are being worn. So such things can be easily managed through our face recognition and object detection tool. We can easily see whether a sharp-edged item is being brought into an area where they're prohibited. And also we can see that people are observing the safety protocols. So such has been the strength of our solution, and it is highly scalable, highly customizable, and it can be easily attuned for different kinds of working environments with different degrees of illumination and lighting. And the rigorous testing has been done to make it more resilient and effective. Now I would like to talk about our machine-to-machine platform, which is based on one M2M. CDOT's common service platform, which we have designed with the perspective to roll out the M2M and IoT in a safe and secure manner. We all know that the upcoming world is going to be governed by the Internet of Things. We will have a horde of sensor data available, including the data from the gadgets and appliances in our homes. And if this data goes into the wrong hands, it can lead to harms which are irreconcilable. So it is very important that the security of the sensor data remains paramount and goes into the right hands. So now we have come up with a platform wherein we can manage the reliable application developers. They're supposed to comply to a standard, and those applications can be easily rolled out amongst the masses. So such is the kind of reliability, uniformity that comes along with this platform. So you can see on the right side, we are showing some of the applications which we can develop for smart city portals. Herein, all the applications are placed in a single portal, and these applications are developed by different startups who will come and standardize their applications on this platform. And the support would be extended by CDOT for understanding this platform and for adapting their applications to this platform. And as our executive director pointed out, that sooner we are going to approach smart cities and the Ministry of Urban Housing, Urban Development, so that they can have this standard included in several tenders for M2M and IoT based applications for smart cities and aspirational villages. Now, I would like to mention about one of the solutions which we have developed exclusively for UN building in Geneva to commemorate the 75th anniversary of the United Nations. It is a wayfinder or indoor navigation tool that enables the navigation in the huge building complexes. Generally, what happens when we enter a huge building, we are completely waylaid. We do not know where the cafeteria is, where is the meeting room. So we have developed a tool which can be easily managed with solutions like Wi-Fi fingerprinting, Bluetooth beacons, and can also manage the unauthorized entry of people into certain areas. For example, certain labs are prohibited for visitors. And if I am trying to enter into that area, the interrupt should be raised to the admin that I have been waylaid and a corrective action has to be taken. And this solution is completely based on augmented reality and virtual reality. It simulates a complete scenario on your mobile phone and gives you a guide which is highly assistive in looking your way and navigated through the complex buildings. It can be easily adapted for several building complexes in India as well. And if I talk about one of the new innovations from CDOT side, it has been the interoperable set-top boxes. Nowadays, as a user of cable TV and DTH, we are generally worried about shifting to new operators because of several concerns like the cost or the quality, but it becomes very difficult for us. So this thing is very similar to mobile number portability, and it can bring about a revolution, transforming our lives as far as the cable TV and DTH user experience is concerned. Herein, you are not supposed to do with the entire digital infrastructure that you have for the cable TV or the DTH services. We will work out an algorithm that can enable the interoperability between the set-top box. It offers all the users the ease to switch to any operator at any time without doing away with the infrastructure. And now I talk about another solution that has been exclusively developed for quarantine management. This was a solution which was based on geofencing, and it was supposed to track and monitor the quarantine people in containment zones, and also to monitor the movement of people in the containment zones in the hotspot areas. So it was based on GIS, and we could easily identify the geofence offenders and could take the corrective action through the involvement of municipal corporations and the health departments. And it is noteworthy to mention that it was also conferred with Best Emergency Response Award 2020 in one of the technology summits. Now, moving on to our contributions in strengthening the defense, security, and strategic networks. This is paramount nowadays because of the emerging geopolitical scenario, that we focus on strengthening the frontiers in building the citadels of our communication networks as far as the security of the entire nation is concerned. So one of our initiatives has been the Central Equipment Identity Register, that is building the registry of IMEI numbers of all the phones, that has proved highly beneficial in tracing the lost and stolen mobile phones in Maharashtra and Delhi circles, wherein it has been launched. And it is very successful in curbing circulation of duplicate and counterfeited devices, which can pose harm to the national security. We have also developed the centralized monitoring system for lawful interception, and it has been rolled out pan-India. We are also building the secure, dedicated communication networks, which are completely insulated from the IP and are highly critical for communication between several high officials of government in order to ensure the privacy and confidentiality of their conversations. And we are also developing secure router platforms and some of the hub baseband satellite systems in collaboration with agencies like DRDO. As far as our contribution to Indian defense is concerned, we have developed the complete communication system for several fleets of ships, which are based on our ATM technology. And lately, we have also used our wireless terminals in a secure manner for boosting connectivity when the ships are approaching the naval anchorage. So it can easily manage the mooring of the ships on different harbors. We have developed our terabit routing platforms that are deployed in strategic networks of defense. And we have already discussed about the common alerting protocol, which is currently being used for disaster management. It can have several applications, even in managing the judicial utilization of the country's resources. And our strength is in the boost to Make in India. It is not only that we are developing technology, but we are creating an entire ecosystem wherein we are inviting telecom manufacturers to come forward, interact with us, develop technologies, and take it out for national endeavors and also for taking it to the other countries. It is noteworthy to mention that we currently have 27 manufacturers with 99 transfer of technology agreements, and we look forward to expanding it with contribution and with support from industry. We look forward to having the patronage from telecom industry. And if we talk about our contribution to national missions, we are contributing to almost all the missions, be it the Startup India, Make in India, Digital India, Smart Cities, and also developing the skills of our entrepreneurs through Skill India program. And in the future, if we talk about the Wi-Fi technology, so we are working on the latest standards like Wi-Fi 6, and also working on the standard called WANI, Wi-Fi Access Network Interface, which aims to implement Wi-Fi roaming in the country that can give you a very secure Wi-Fi experience, wherein you can easily hook on to the safe WANI compatible hotspots without worrying about other things like billing or the quality or the security aspects. Along with that, we are completely focused on realizing the objectives of our Prime Minister's vision of building Atmanirbhar Bharat through developing 4G and 5G solutions in the area of both core, RAN, and the equipment like eNode B and Gnode B. And on the security front, we are developing a complete system called Cyberspace Threat Analytics Systems, which aims to monitor the national critical infrastructure and also ensuring the cyber health of the nation. So we'll be completely managing the IP traffic and ensuring that there is no threat posed from the IP traffic from other countries and the adversaries. And along with that, as we mentioned, we are trying to upgrade BharatNet with the latest technologies like XGS-PON, because there has been a great demand of bandwidth from the rural villages with the expansion of BharatNet. And on the security front, we are also working on the areas wherein we want to shield our networks from the threat of quantum computers, which are going to have infinite computational power. So currently we are working on developing quantum-safe cryptography and steganography-based solutions, which are going to be the need of the hour when the quantum computers are going to become a reality. So such has been our vision to become a one-stop destination for all kinds of telecom solutions in building the telecom infrastructure for sustaining not only our manufacturers and consumers, but the nation as an organic whole. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Aman. Thank you very much. And I want to compliment Executive Director Upadhyay ji for having Aman with you. In fact, I have saved his name as a best MC in the world, because the way he talks, the way he presents. And your presentation was very nice. While you were presenting, I received around 18-20 requests for a copy of the presentation, which we have given to them.
Thank you, sir.
Now, having said that, is now the time for anybody from the floor, if they want to say something. Anybody from the floor, if they want to say something. If not, then few words from Upadhyay ji, and then we'll move for closure of the event.
Well, sir.
But, yeah, yes, sir.
Can I say something?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, Bhatia sir, please.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to compliment the CDOT team, particularly Upadhyay Saab. Just wanted to share that my association with the CDOT goes back to 80s when I was in DGTD, and later when I joined DOT. Actually, Mr. Pitoda brought me from DGTD back to DOT. And my first job was to promote CDOT Manufacturers Association and promote the CDOT manufacturing in the country. And I remember the days of the REX and the MARR, and I know many of my friends here would know. The whole aim was, how do we get CDOT manufacturers together and start making CDOT exchanges and CDOT equipment? And since then, I've worked with CDOT on many projects and many occasions. So I must compliment Dr. Upadhyay for taking on this, and hopefully CDOT will progress further. We are all with you. Anything, anytime, we are always able to support you, able to take you forward globally. So please, let's be connected always, and make sure that CDOT prospers as much as we want it. Thank you very much.
Well, sir, can I take a minute?
Yeah, please.
You saying something, Dr. Upadhyay?
No, I just wanted to thank Bhatia ji. In fact, my association Bhatia ji is, while I was in TRI, I have been working with him. And definitely, as I said in my address, that I am looking for great collaboration with this ecosystem. I know that alone CDOT cannot do everything. With the close partnership of the industry, I think we can solve the Indian puzzle. And I'm sure that our initiative in 4G and 5G, somebody was telling BSNL tender. I think CDOT, I think we are not looking BSNL tender alone. Soon, I assure you, we'll be in international markets. That is how we are working. We will prove our net 4G's core and RAN in the BSNL tender. That will give us a platform to tell the world that we can deliver the technology. And definitely in this endeavor, we'll require the support of the industry. And I'm thankful for industry for arranging this kind of interaction, and look forward for such interaction more often. And what is required to be done by the CDOT, because after all, we are spending taxpayer money, and it should be in a manner that it helps the country. So we are ready to work with the industry and will definitely collaborate in order to do nation building. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Upadhyay. Now, Mr. Atuli, you want to say something, but please be brief.
Sure. Not more than a minute. Let me congratulate you for the new role that you've taken up, Dr. Upadhyay. I have not had much interaction with you except for one small meeting we had regarding the PMA policy when you were steering that draft paper. So I think today, we all know about the prowess and the strengths that CDOT has. It's done a great job in R&D. Let me come down to the ground realities of this industry. Today, I would like, more than anything else, the CDOT should actually champion the cause of the Indian industry. You have a strong connect with the DOT on one side. You understand the technology and the challenges that any other designer faces. You could act as a great bridge, understand the government, you were part of the PMA policy drafting, so you understand what the recommendations went, but have they been implemented in the right spirit? We came up with a lot of policies, but has the industry ultimately gathered any mass because of those policies which were drafted? You've done a great amount of R&D, but is most of the R&D sitting as puppets in a museum, or are we finding products based on that on the shelves of the marketplace? Now, this is a gap which you can appreciate the best and go to the government and try addressing the gap. Now, we're coming up with this PLI policy, talked about as the Diwali bonanza. It is being kind of portrayed as one big thing that's going to happen to the industry. But there is another perspective of it. The 6% benefit going to the large investors in the company may actually erode the survivability also of the MSME. Because we will all of a sudden on the next day become 6% less competitive than the big guys who actually invest. And most of your partners who are taking technology from you, they would relate to what I am saying. And that's the reason why the technologies developed by Indian R&D centers are not actually getting commercial. Similarly, the PMA policy, is it being interpreted the right way? Or are people finding mechanisms of circumventing and bypassing the PMA provisions and policies which have been set up? So anyway, I've been asked to keep brief. Similarly, certification. Can you handhold the industry in meeting certification requirements? Can you handhold the industry? Because each of the small industry guys, we have strengths in certain protocols in certain niche areas. But in a productization, there are multiple technologies which come into the picture. Trust me, you develop a great technology, but when it comes to making an operator console for an enterprise requirement, CDOT may have done a great technology core work, but relating it to the features that an enterprise required, you may not have done sufficient work. So working very closely, filling up the gaps with the industry may actually be a greater contribution to the society at large. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Now we are towards the end, so I would like to request Dr. Upadhyay if you want to say some few words after listening to all our industries. As I said, a very unique occasion where we have lots of industries, all the associations of telecom are here. Yeah, Upadhyay ji.
Thank you, Goel Saab. Thank you, Tuli Saab. Actually, I can only say that in terms of the product, of course, we are developing a lot of products. One of my consideration and one of my key challenge today is how to optimize the cost. Because at one side, we are making quality products, but the other side, it is to be competitive in the open market. So we are also working on the cost optimization. But as you rightly said, that we need to handhold the industry. And in my opening speech also, I said, the CDOT is fully open to the industry. I'm repeating it, we are open to the whole industry. Anybody coming and requiring our facilities for testing, I said, in terms of, in terms of solving the whole puzzle, I find that the complete parts of the puzzle I can't do as a CDOT. I need some of the puzzles to be, solved by the industry, and together, CDOT plus industry, we can come up with certain solution. Thank you for your suggestion that we need to look at the point of view of industry while designing the products. We are very open to that. And I also said that for the upcoming areas like M2M, we are opening our platform. Soon it will be on our website. We are allowing all the startups to come and test on our M2M service layer so that they don't have to invest in the R&D. And any suggestions which industry brings, I'm fully open to work with the industry. I look forward for working in the industry with a common goal. I think the goal for CDOT as well as the industry is that we do indigenous manufacturing. From the strategic point of view, we are all well aware what is happening in other countries. President Trump has signed in 2019 signed a regulation that they will not allow any Chinese equipment inside. Not only that, the next regulation which was signed was, even if you have Chinese equipment already installed, that should be removed, and that will be funded by the federal government. That, and many other countries are following, and this is a great opportunity for us as in India to really not only serve the Indian market but become leader in the international market. We definitely look forward for support from the industry, and we will be very open. I think you can take it for granted that CDOT as an organization will be ready to handhold our industry ecosystem. We should be enabler for the ecosystem. Definitely, we are committed to that.
Thank you. Thank you, Upadhyay ji. I want to go, it is towards the end now, but we have been joined by Mr. Balachandran, who is our head for South Indian chapter. Balaji, thank you very much. Can you just say half a minute something about CDOT? Half a minute, because we are at the end.
Oh, thank you very much, Mr. Goel and Dr. Upadhyay. There are veterans already on this group. My association with CDOT goes back to the very, very early stages of 1990 when I was with Krona, and we were very closely working, as Dr. Bhatia said, on the racks and MACs and so on. In fact, if I think of CDOT during those early years, it gives me goosebumps. That was the kind of energy, that was the kind of vibrancy that one noticed with CDOT. And I'm sure that with your leadership, we will rekindle that spirit, and the entire telecom industry, especially the ones who have large investments and manufacturing capabilities in India, will hold hands with you and come back to the limelight as much as we can and take advantage of the situation that the government is providing. Thank you very much, Mr. Goel and Dr. Upadhyay. All the best.
Thank you very much. And towards the end, Dr. Upadhyay, you know, I am known for something wrong. Wrong is, I'm not able to give time to everybody to speak. There are more than 50, 70. Each one of them I know personally. I would like to thank each one of them. I would like to especially thank all my leaders here, and all my members from BEL, from ECIL, from ITI, from Siana. Mr. Deepak joined late, and everybody of you, and we will continue. And friends, I want to tell you that I use CDOT. I'm saying use CDOT for few things. I say, if we can use CDOT's WhatsApp, we can be the world leader. Why don't we use CDOT WhatsApp? If we can use CDOT Wi-Fi, we can be the world leader. Why don't we use? If CDOT can give building access facility to UN, why not in the South Block, North Block? And we believe as TIMA, our future is safe in the hands of Dr. Upadhyay. With this, thank you everybody. Thanks a lot. Thank you. Thank you everybody.
Well, sir,
Thank you.
Well, sir, one request.
Sir.
Can we request you to conduct your meetings on the CDOT platform, which will give the visibility of the CDOT?
Thank you.
To
Yes, sir, we will in future.
Please.
Yes, sir, we will in future.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Rajkumar ji.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Hello, Upadhyay ji. Good luck.
Thank you, Shakya ji.
कमजोर हो गए ध्रुव भी बोलते थैंक यू ओके आचार्य